welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10.
What's going on, guys?
What's happening? We have a different audience in studio, or different set of co-hosts sitting with us in studio tonight. Little different setup.
Yeah, it's all right though.
I am Adam. I am not your host, and Josh, I'm going to skip you for a minute. Ron is out of the studio this week, and we'll get to that in just a second. But sitting in his chair, filling in his chair better than he can, Ron is in Discord, so I'm going to poke fun at him all night, is the former Crown owner, Crown being the Crown inside our Discord, but you probably also own a bottle of Crown.
I drank it.
Mr. Dan Lynn, also the former host of the Top 10 Reasons You Should Be Drinking a Whiskey. So welcome, Dan.
Thanks.
Did you bring the list tonight?
What list?
Exactly. And Ron is out of studio. We'll get to him in just a second, but sitting over on the futon.
I'm Josh, and I am your host this evening.
A back-to-back?
A back-to-back hosting. So we all got to send some good vibes and love to Ron. If you've been listening for a little while, you've probably heard he had surgery on his arm.
Masturbation accident is what we're going to go with.
Beating it so hard, snapped a tendon. But so he had that surgery, and he's just right. So he's still in recovery. He opted to just not hang out tonight. He's in some discomfort. So
it was really funny though, Ron. Initially, the day after surgery, Ron's like, "Oh yeah," as he goes, I can't move my arm, I can't use it, but I'm all right. I'll be able to do it now. All the drugs have worn off from surgery, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck that." I guess it's a considerable more amount of pain than what he was planning for. So he's out tonight. No writing capability. He will be texting, and he'll probably be texting at all broke text language, left-handed texting tonight.
But he is hanging out on the live stream though. So
yeah, we do.
If you're on the live stream, he'll be there with us in spirit. I mean, he's not dead, I guess.
But I don't know. Is that his wife on his phone? What's going on? Well, that means she doesn't get the crown. Oh, let me get to the crown. All right.
Okay.
So, Dan, if any of you are return listeners, then you know we love competition shows in the Twisted 10, meaning the list is always different. So you're always going to get a unique top 10 list out of whoever the host happens to be that week. This week it's Josh. But sometimes we add a little bit of a twist in there and make it a competition. So we ask questions or beat around the bush about what the topic is, and then the person guesses it, and whatever. We have a little thing in Discord that we provide for whoever happens to win that week, which is a crown emoji or icon that goes next to your Discord name. Dan won that handsomely so against Josh and Ron.
It was like 8 to 1 to 1.
Yeah, Dan had 8. Yeah, you guys each had 1.
I fucked you guys up.
What show was that again? I know I hosted, but I don't remember what the name of the show or what the topic was.
It was the most bizarre collections.
That's right, the most bizarre collections. Yeah. I won it back. I don't remember the show that I won it back on, but I won it back.
My crown has been offered up twice without my knowledge.
Oh yeah. And,
Jesus Christ.
But I was going to turn it right around immediately and give it back to somebody relatively quickly because I didn't feel right taking it so fast away from whoever had it. So I did another competition show, and I want to know how good... So in this case, Josh got pissed at me for this particular show that I did because it was top 10 inspirations behind famous music. That was the list I did for behind famous songs, behind the lyrics. And it was all over the place from Sarah McLachlan to Tool or Creed to whatever. We had a huge range of songs.
All songs that you would know.
Mm-hmm. You would recognize them all. But how do you think you would do? Because Josh is pissed. He thought I gave an unfair advantage in that show to Ron. Because Ron now holds the title.
Because Ron's old and some of those songs were older?
Some of them were new, though. I had a Weekend in there as well. There were some other ones that were more modern. But
Ron he's so good that we had a little small technical hiccup. Adam hit the wrong button on the pad. Not a big deal. He caught it real quick. Got through literally 2 bars.
If that. Yeah, 2 notes. It's like Name That Tune from back in the 70s, that TV show. Ron got that tune in less than 2.
He was like, hey, great. And I was like, shut up. I need more time, so I got a handicap.
To be fair, it was Closing Time by Semisonic, so that song is very recognizable off the first 2 notes anyway.
Especially if you've ever closed down a bar.
well, that too.
Yeah.
But, so I told the guys...
As much as we drink in the studio, that would have been an easy pick.
That's true. I did tell the guys before the show in our host-only Discord chat, I said, hey, tonight's show is going to be not tonight, this night, but that night, I said it's going to be a competition, so if one of you two want the crown, you better not bring a ringer. So... then it would be up to Josh and Ron to have invited you or not. So I'm going to turn it over to them for...
And Ron's not here to defend himself, so it's Ron's fault.
It's Ron's fault.
Yeah, it's Ron's fault. Yeah, Ron, what the fuck, man?
How do you think you would have done on a lyrics inspiration?
Inspiration of lyrics?
Most of them were bizarre.
I would have been a competitor, for sure. One of the psychotic friends of my mother that I grew up with, it didn't matter what any song that came on the radio, he was like, oh, I was a roadie for this band. He's like, he's the guy who taught me the inspiration for like 25 or 6 to 4.
Your mom hung out with that guy from the King of the Hill?
So,
no, this was actually her second husband.
What are you talking about?
Gribble?
It's a guy from King of the Hill. That would always...
I think you're talking about Boomhauer.
Boomhauer, yeah.
Dang old boom, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah. No, it's just, yeah, I think I would have been a pretty good competitor to that. You said Creed. Was it with Arms Wide Open?
No, it was Higher. So Creed isn't... So, well, here, we'll do a real quick mini version. Creed's, you know the song. Mm-hmm. I Wanna Get... No, that's a different song.
No, it's Can You Take Me Higher.
Can You Take Me Higher. Creed is a Christian band, too. I'll tell you, it's not about ascension to heaven or Jesus' ascension or any of that shit that most fans thought it was. It's not about that at all.
Is it about getting pissed on because he wants to go to a place with golden streams?
No, this one... God damn it. No, it was about lucid...
that one hooker?
It was about his capability of lucid dreaming.
Oh.
So his ability to recognize his dreams and control them. It was lucid, all about lucid dreaming.
I think it's ironic that Creed calls himself a Christian band, but maybe that's why they kicked out Scott Stapp, because he had the cops called on him for rolling around his front yard drunk as shit.
Well, that's not unchristian. That's just
true. That's
unneighborly.
That's hella Christian.
yeah,
all right,
exactly. All right, let's get to a couple of thank yous real quick. Thank you to the council. Oh, you want to do it?
No, I was going to hand you my big print idiot list.
Let's
in case
see.
You need
I'm
it.
not going to look. Let's see how many I get right.
All right,
let's see how many I get right. First, let's start with the council. Council members, thank you very, very much. And to our one female council member, who is the queen, or I don't know what we would actually call her for being in the council. Anyway, thank you, council members. We appreciate you guys unbelievably. Our council members are growing every single day, so we're very excited about adding new folks that like us and like our style of comedy and fun. Josh tallied it up. There is 27 hours of content sitting in the Patreon page for our council members to absorb when they want. And most of it's all evergreen. It's you can listen to any episode at any time and still have fun with it.
Yeah, they're all like 30 minutes to an hour. So I just hit an average of 45 minutes. That's where that came from. So that's
about right.
36 episodes of the after show. And I also looked, because I was in there doing this math, we have 141 episodes of the Twisted 10.
Yeah, we're getting up there pretty good.
Yeah, we got some good numbers.
Council members, we need your guys' input in the council member only chat. Give us some ideas for the 100th episode of the after show. We've already got an idea of doing a drunk as fuck episode. We got a cruise idea. Let's take it on a cruise and do it out on a cruise ship somewhere. Let us know. We're not gonna like sell cruise tickets or anything, so don't think that's. But if we happen to all go on the same cruise together, cool. But yeah, let us know, council members. We also want to thank our show sponsor, official national show sponsor, Manscaped, for keeping us operating with their sponsorship. So you'll hear a little bit more about that later in the show. But head over to manscaped.com, use the code TWISTED10 for 20% off and free worldwide shipping off of anything that you purchase, which is kind of cool. All right, let's see what else I got. The council members. I got Manscaped. Head on over to, if you want to know how to get involved with the show, head over to our Discord. You can find all the links at twisted10.com. Discord is free to join, doesn't cost anything to join. We don't get your email address for mailers or any of that shit. You just click the little button to set up a membership into Discord, and you're in.
Just come hang out. We just want to bullshit with you guys.
Yeah, hang out. That's really it. We live stream every show now in Discord live, so the audio is being pumped into Discord now. We got a few people hanging out in there right now with us, to include a couple of our new folks, which is a lot of fun. And I think that's it. Is that it? Did I get it all?
You checked everything except for one. Ron's not here, so I will represent him.
All right.
Wherever you are listening right now, if it has a like, follow, subscribe, rate, all those buttons, hit those buttons, because that helps us get exposure, which gets more listens, which just helps us grow, and it's just a lot of fun.
Smash it.
Smash it. Smash the like button. All right.
Nice. That's all the official business, right?
That's it. Yeah. So twisted10.com, how to get to the F show, how to become a council member, how to join Discord. It's all there. I think you said that. You did say that.
I think so.
You did. All right, cool. So that's
See, Ron, that's how you
everything.
Ron, I know you're listening. That's how you do it, buddy. Do you hear that? That's how you right there.
He's like, son of a bitch, read the script.
Hey Ron, give me a high five. Oh, you can't do that. Man. Hey Ron, sign your name. Oh, you can't.
Oh, that's right. He is right-handed.
Yeah,
That
you can't,
sucks.
You can't do that either.
Man, who signs their name anymore? Don't you just click, put signature here, save? That's official, right? That's a binding document.
I love it when somebody asks me to sign on like a tablet or something because it's never legible, ever. Like I know cursive, and something tangenting already, but something they don't teach kids in school anymore, at least in Brevard County schools, is cursive. How to write and how to articulate language using cursive writing. They don't know. Like my son has no clue how to write in cursive. He's like, how do I sign my name? I said, just sign it however you want. So he just square letters it all the way through. Puts his whole name.
It doesn't.
I mean,
he turns 18 in a week.
Cursive is hella easy to explain. It's write your name without taking the pencil off the paper. That's it. Yeah. Like there's they taught us this in 3rd grade of how all the letters are supposed to look and this is how they connect together. But it's literally just don't take your fucking pencil off the paper. That's what it becomes when you're an adult.
I would like to see the art of calligraphy, because that's really where cursive comes from, is maybe an elective that's available for kids who want to have some sort of course, I guess you can figure it out in YouTube University in about 10 minutes.
Go watch YouTube and go download one picture that says, this is what the letters look like.
All right. We've switched this around from Adam disliking the school boards to Adam not giving his kids enough to actually get to the end result that they want. I have everything I need to teach them. I just don't do it
There's
myself.
like no cursive is, as far as a necessity, it's a dead language.
Sure. Okay.
Or a dead way of writing. It's not necessary. Nobody writes, right? Few people write anymore. People type. People write story. Like people still write, but they type. Like, when was the last time you wrote anything longer than maybe a page full of meeting notes?
Prisoners. I bet prisoners have to write. I bet they don't.
Wow. I bet they have cursive books in prison too to solve their dilemma.
It's also a gateway activity. Like cursive leads to calligraphy, and calligraphy leads to graffiti.
And graffiti leads to the dark side.
Yeah. Don't let your fucking kids learn cursive, or they'll be tagging up your side of your house.
I can't argue with that.
I have nothing.
He's right.
The evidence is irrefutable.
He's 100% right. Yeah, my boy turns 18, man. This is nervous. He turns 18 in a week. I say nervous. He's a smart kid.
You won't be able to call him your boy anymore.
Oh, he'll forever be my boy.
Well, I mean,
even though he's
true.
taller than me.
I call my adult friends boy. What up, boy? My boy. That's my boy.
Yeah, boy, it really does age you when you have a kid that's turning 18, I guess. But that's all right. I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old that certainly make me feel...
Yeah, you started over. You're fine.
Yeah, 100%.
I just took in a 13-year-old. Yeah, I went from no kids to fucking teenager.
You went right to the most dramatic pubescent era for a teenage or for a girl of any age, really, to raise. I'm proud of you for that. You know, we won't talk a whole lot about it on the show because it's personal business, but that's awesome of you.
I mean, I'll just give you a cheat code. My mom is a 56-year-old teenager, so like I've been preparing for this my whole life.
I'm a 40-something-year-old teenager myself.
That's true. I know his mom. That is a accurate statement.
Yeah, but yeah, I got lucky because I was just like, fate prepared me for this exact situation my whole fucking life.
Well, good. I'm proud of you guys. You and Steph. You guys you're awesome peoples for doing what you do.
Oh, thanks, man.
So, are you guys ready for the big reveal?
Is this two things? Is it a competition list?
It is not a competitive list.
So Ron keeps his crown.
Begrudgingly,
yes. Ron keeps my crown.
Ron keeps your crown.
It almost became a competitive list, but because we did things a lot out of order in support of Ron, of course. But I didn't have enough time to really refine it in a way that would make it for a good competition, which would make sense. And there's not a twist for all the same reasons. So there is no twist. This is all true facts, true stories, to the best of history's knowledge. Our Discord stream today is called By Order of the Queen. Today we are talking about 10 of the greatest pirates from the Golden Era of Piracy.
Whoa, are you serious?
100%.
Like no shit Blackbeard kind of pirates.
100%.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this is a totally off of the wall topic.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Which is actually why I was listening to Ailstorm in the car.
Yo ho, it's a
so
pirate's
excited
life
about
for
this.
me.
So yes, these are all real pirates.
Discord, fucking Ron chiming in with Discord, like he's put a pirate cat up there for you. By the way, Discord, we will take that to the after show. Got a question about what I'm doing for my boy for his 18th, so we'll take that to the after show. Maybe a strip club's involved, maybe it's not. So we'll just see.
Interesting. Yeah, that'd be good for the after show. We can talk about that. So these are all real pirates. There is some caveats here. Pirates, by the very nature of who and what they were, getting like really good documentation on who and what they were.
Oh yeah. You're not exactly in an era of keeping track of stuff.
Yeah, so this is, there's one of these that is outside of this, but the Golden Age of Piracy is a time in history that's about the 1650s to the 1730s. So
1650s to 1730s.
Right around turn of the 18th century.
Okay.
Is where this was taking place. This is, of course, westward expansion. This is when there's so much. Is
the Golden Age of Piracy actually a proper title?
You can Google that and you can like find, because I'm about to talk about 10 very notorious pirates. Most of them you've heard of. Most of these names are not going to be. Some of these are.
Thanks, Disney.
Davy Jones.
Yeah, that's he's not on here.
Well, that's also I don't know if he was necessarily a pirate or a hero that just drowned at sea and became Davy Jones' locker. I don't know the story behind Davy Jones.
Bootstraps. That's Pirates of the Caribbean.
This is going to be hard to not continue with a pirate voice throughout the whole episode, so forgive me now.
Do it.
All right.
Do it. Because these are pirates. Most of these stories are around the Caribbean, southeastern United States, kind of the hub of piracy around the year 1800. Not all of them, but what's interesting is this pirate accent that we have. We're actually going to talk about some really, really affluent people. So like that grungy pirate voice.
Yeah.
There are a couple of people on this list that are like high society. So they would have been educated, well-spoken. I had a real education into piracy that I'd never had. And I learned so much about how it came to be in the modern image and like what it served a purpose. It was like a trade in wartime. I'll talk about it. But I put some other fun facts. The earliest documented instance that we have of any sort of piracy, naval piracy, comes from the 14th century BC, when Mediterranean and Aegean civilizations were being raided by seaborne people called the Sea Peoples. That's what they wrote them down as in history. So the Sea Peoples would show up and just raid them. They don't really know who they were, but they had boats and they would just go rob and pillage. They were pirates.
Vikings.
That would have been much later.
Oh yeah, it was BC.
This is 16,000 years ago. But so most of this, like I mentioned, the Golden Age of Piracy in the 1650s to the 1730s is where a lot of this starts off. So are you guys...
I got to show you. I'm completely ready. I am 100% on board, but yeah, that was dropped in our Discord as well. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
SpongeBob.
Who lives in a pineapple under the... I'm not going to do it. That's it. Ron, we need you here for the singing, man. Wait, was it Ron that put it in there? No, it was Tough Food. All right. That's right. Discord, loving you.
So, number 10.
Number 10. R.
Number 10 is the earliest pirate on the list. He is Sir Francis Drake, another notorious member of history. He played very prominent roles in a couple of wars, and I've got so much about him. But he, so not only was he a pirate. Well, anyways, I'll go into it. So he was
knighted.
He was.
Ooh, all right, that's pretty important.
It starts as a knight, yeah. So he was an English privateer. Now, privateer is only, I'm going to use that term a lot. That's 1 degree away from a pirate. So take what you know about rob, pillage, piracy, but then imagine some noble or patriarch, king, queen somewhere said, here's a sponsorship letter. Go nuts.
Go rob and loot and pillage that city on behalf of the country you're doing it from. Huh.
So they're called marks. If I say that term, that's what it means. Like your mark is your like letter of authority that basically we'll talk about. A lot of this has to do with the Spanish and the English fighting over naval times because they owned the oceans at that point. So a lot of it was like the British saying, here's your mark to go only rob and pillage Spanish trade ships, or in the reverse, go after the French or whatever. So you can go do whatever you want to them. Bring us back some. That's it. Bring us back some money. So
high seas mercenaries.
What a weird atmosphere, you know? What a weird atmosphere. We're going to allow you to go do unmentionable, unethical, and unmoral things to other human beings on behalf of the country as long as we get a share. That's amazing.
I mean,
yeah, but it still happens now. Don't go political.
War.
I saw your eyes.
That's not political. That's war. We still do that.
Yeah,
everyone still does that. That's war.
It's specific though. We want you to go do this to our competitors.
That's true. Yeah, there was so like the East India Trade Company is like a real British company. Oh, yeah. Like that was the whole thing. So
yeah, they basically ran the entire world at that point in time.
Oh yeah. So all right, let's talk about Sir Francis Drake. He lived from 1540 to 1596, which a lot of this was kind of fascinating. You'll potentially catch the more affluent, wealthier privateers who went into who became pirates. They all lived for a long time.
Yeah, that was what, 65 years or something.
1540
like that, right?
to 1596. Yes, 58 years. He died at the age of 58. Top of his game. So he was an English privateer and admiral who led exclusively seafaring career and almost entirely preying on the Spanish. So he was English, I said that. So he started as a teenager. He had relatives, the Hawkinses. They were a clan of privateers that preyed on the French. So he got his start in the oceans, preying on the French with his relatives, later going after the Spanish. By the 1560s, he had risen to command on his own ship, and he had entered the slave trade, smuggling shackled captives illegally into Spain's New World possession. So one of the early slave traders to the Western Hemisphere. In 1572, he received a letter of marque from Queen Elizabeth. By order of the Queen, you gonna know?
Hear ye, hear ye.
Authorizing him to plunder any property of the Spanish crown, and armed with this authorization, he raided Panama, but was wounded and forced to retreat. I won't say why. We're going to talk about Panama again.
Or please say he lost his leg and put it on a wooden...
You know what? There was not a single peg leg in any of my research. That's some Disney bullshit.
I was going to say, I'd be willing to bet that there was not really any pirates. It didn't become famous from piracy. It probably became famous from Disney. You're probably spot on with that.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to survive on a fucking ship while you got gangrene and a stick coming out of your leg.
Exactly.
You would fall down and then die. Or your crewmates would just throw you over the ship and be like, yeah, this guy's done.
Yeah, because human life was considered something different then. It isn't valued as it is now. I say value to Western society as it is right now, that they would, if somebody was a nuisance, they're gone. You're taking up a part of our food and our rations, and you're not pulling your weight. Sorry, buddy. You're shark food. You're going overboard.
Yeah, most...
Walk the plank hard. Sorry, gonna do it. Sorry, Josh.
No, it's fine. Doing it. Do it every opportunity you get. I love it. So after recovering from his injuries in Panama, he, which was actually, it was fever, is what it was. He fought and got sick and then caught fever. So probably got some sort of other cut or injury that became a feverish heel, but he survived. In 1577. He led an expedition of 5 ships to raid the Pacific coast of Spanish South America. He went through the Straits of Magellan.
Straits of Magellan.
That's South
Africa. I know. I remember talking about that before. That's around the tip of Africa, right?
Or South America. Sorry, not South. It's the tip of South America.
Tip of South America. Okay.
But he passed through the Straits of Magellan, and his ship. If I say it again, it was a side note. But his flagship was the Golden Hind. Is what he called his flagship. So on the Golden Hind, he...
I know that girl.
So he sailed up, and he stopped along the coast of Chile and Peru, and spent some time there. He captured a Spanish ship, which yielded him 25,000 gold coins.
Oh.
Yeah, this was his start to privateering in the Western Hemisphere. 25,000 gold coins.
That's a lot today.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Then he captured a Manila galleon called the Cacafuego.
My cock's on fire.
So Spanish. Cacafuego would be the flaming shit, right? Cacafuego?
Cacafuego?
That'd be
I guess
flaming
it
ship.
It would. I mean, direct translation would be shit fire.
Ship fire.
Is that like the 1600s version of Ricky Bobby?
It must. They were still naming their ships after the earliest memes were ship names. The SS Cacafuego. We went around the East Indies and we found spices, and now it's the Cacafuego.
That's the new name of my dick.
The Cacafuego?
Cacafuego.
Poor wife.
She don't see it. It's all right.
So that ship, though, it had 80 pounds of gold, 13 chests full of coins, 26 tons of silver. He then crossed the Pacific through the Indian Ocean, went around the tip of Africa, returned to England on September 26, 1580, becoming the second person ever to circumnavigate the globe. So that's why he was in the start of this. Magellan made the trip, documented it. He did it again. Sir Francis Drake did it again, documented it further, and then it became passable and navigable. They had two good captains take really good notes.
Flat earthers will say you don't actually circumnavigate going east to west. You do going north to south.
Go in a big circle.
Yeah, he got back to Europe and was like, fuck you, Maggie. I raped, pillaged, and plundered on my trip.
And I named my boat Shitfire. So what you got?
No, he raided that.
No, he raided the Shitfire.
His ship was the Golden Hind. So
yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. That's
the Golden Hind pillaged the Cacafuego.
So the golden ass raided the Shitfire.
So you have Hawaiian Tropic versus Taco Bell. I'm giving Taco Bell a reference for Discord. They were the original Taco Bell.
The ultimate defense against fiery shits is a
What
golden
on,
ass.
Joe?
So his life came to an end in 1596. Now he is going to have passed before anybody else that we're going to talk about, but he was one of the first major privateers. And I say major, not the first, of course, but the first major privateers to cross into the threshold of sponsored piracy, or sponsored privateering to then unsponsored piracy. He was one of the first to make a name for himself as a global pirate.
Okay.
So they kind of worked that out, but the real takeaway from that is he established kind of precedents for governments around the world. When everybody else was hiring privateers, they kind of laid out, he was, of course, Sir Francis Drake. He was an honorable man. But then, this is what happened to him. So now,
he was the LeBron or the Pele of his time, or the superstar that every other person wanted, or every other person in that profession wanted to aspire to be like.
So but he did that, and then they realized the power of privateering and the power of piracy, controlled piracy. So he set the standard for what became global piracy. We're actually going to talk about some foreign pirates.
So he was the first warlord of the sea.
He was.
That's pretty cool, because if he had other pirates that wanted to raid or fight him or engage in combat with him,
they're picking a fight with the crown.
I was going to say, he could throw the white flag up, let them come aboard, and he could show them the note and say, look,
as long as
carry on if you want, but you're going to have the whole crown of England, or the British royalty is going to You think what we did to Shitfire was bad? You wait till.
And that would also be a very strong strategic play of, yes, come aboard my ship and see who you're fucking with. Now you can either die, or you can work for me and do all this shit legit.
And this was, so you talk about how, he could do, plays like this, maneuvers like this. He had authorization to go after anything that fell under the Spanish crown. And that's important because he would have been ousted or decried by the crown had he made a reputation going after ships that were not Spanish. So his claim to fame, his largest haul ever, was not Spanish, but he gave the throne a fuck ton of money, so he got to keep his job.
Didn't Francis Drake also abscond with a huge payload that he was supposed to otherwise give up? Isn't there some?
And yes, I've heard this, and he goes by the moniker in the storybooks of One-Eye Willie.
Yeah, no, I thought, and maybe
I see where you're going though.
Maybe this is just from the time I spent playing Uncharted, but there was a rumor that Francis Drake absconded with a very large cache of money, and that ship sunk somewhere. It's one of those coveted treasure hunter like legends.
Dude, there's no
that
joke
people been
about
looking for centuries.
There's no joke about the treasures and the shipwrecks throughout the Caribbean, right off of our coast. Yeah. Every single hurricane that comes through that comes close enough to disturb our Gulf Stream and our waterfront, my mother's out there with a radar detector, and she has found shit that is hundreds of years old.
She's not out there with a radar detector.
Did I say radar detector?
Expand.
Yeah, she'll know where the cops are.
Yeah, but the fun part about that is...
Did I say radar detector? Metal detector.
A legitimate Pirate Age gold coin, a doubloon, is worth way more than its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
it has significant historical value, and collectors will pay hundreds of times what it's worth in just gold value for it.
I didn't know that.
So, does he have a sunken ship with a cache of treasure? Very possibly. What I do know is that he died from fever at home. So he actually had a very, uncomfortable. He had a peaceful death at home. He did not have a pirate's death. So that was, he got to go home, start a family, and die, at home. It's sad. Whatever. He had a fever. It's a shitty way to go.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
They didn't have, medicine.
Not everybody dies from fever, though. But yeah, no, but he got to die at home. So it was kind of a nice ending for all the work he did for the British Crown, I guess. Ah, yes, Sir Francis Drake. So,
dude, I'm loving these.
We're just getting started.
Dude, I'm going to be kicking off a 7 show. How many movies are in the Pirates of the Caribbean now?
There's only 3 that are worth watching.
I love them all.
They're all
5 of them?
good.
I thought there was like 7 of them.
They're all good. The first 3 are about piracy. The remaining 4
about voodoo and witchcraft and fantasy.
They're still good.
It's Harry Potter on the seas. I got it. I understand that. I'm okay with it. Still fucking love Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's acting.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
I fucking love it. I love that series so much. I'm like the only person in my family that really, really loves Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, man. No,
I mean, the original trilogy is almost flawless, in my opinion. I thought they were fantastic.
All right, you guys ready for the next one?
All right, let's do it.
We're going to go through several of these. We are now talking about pirates I had never heard of before this, so feel free to add in. Number 9 is Captain Black Sam Bellamy from 1689 to 1717.
His name was Black Sam?
His name was...
I bet he was black.
It was Samuel Bellamy. He was not.
Wow.
I know.
Samuel Bellamy.
I was like, cool, 1700s... Black guy needs to do something or die, right? So he becomes a pirate. I made that step too.
And that would be like a notorious moniker for no, that captain, he escaped off the farm and he is not to be fucked with.
It actually has nothing to do with anything other than he refused to adopt the powdered white wig style of the age, and he had black hair and like long curly locks. So he just grew out his black hair and he was Black Sam.
So I know that the curly white wigs were really popular with like British aristocrats, and even the British Navy wore those things, or so they've been depicted to me throughout my whole life as that. Did pirates also have that? Because all the pirates I remember ever researching about never wore the white wigs. That always was part of the aristocracy of Great Britain.
Maybe
You are correct that it was definitely from like the upper class in England, and really kind of all of Europe, if I understood what I read today. Yeah. But a lot of what we're going to talk about are like expats from Europe. So,
oh really?
Yeah, okay. They're just they're
maybe he got the nickname Black Sam before he went pirate. He was a part of that class and was like, "Fuck your stupid wigs."
Just as a normal person, he's like, "Fuck
the Brits." That's Black Sam. He doesn't belong here because he has his own hair.
The Brits still do that. It's only ceremonial now. It's not actually meant for anything other than paying homage to how they've done it for hundreds of years. But once a year, they will bust out the wigs in their Senate or whatever the fuck they do over there.
The House of Lords.
Yeah. It's hilarious. I love it.
I say, don't judges in England still wear wigs?
I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know, but I know that their Senate or whatever their version of their house is considered used to always wear them, but they don't anymore. It's a 1 day a year type of deal. Discord, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I love it. I love the pomp and circumstance behind the whole reason that they wear fucking wigs. These old ass dudes with these big ass white wigs. I love it.
I want one of them to wear a black long curly-haired wig in homage to Black Sam.
Call themselves Black Sam.
So he was... excuse me. Pardon me. So he was like a middle upper class guy. He was a normal citizen. In 1715, he took a trip to Cape Cod, and he heard news that a Spanish treasure ship had wrecked off the coast of Florida from a storm. So he joined a treasure hunting expedition to go get rich. Like, the idea of sunken gold was like a real day-to-day thing. It's still very real, as we talked about, but it was like, oh, look at that ship over there. That's got 100 pounds of gold on it. That must be the Spanish crown ship or whatever. Like, that was, look at that ship in port. It's full of money. Anyways, so he went after that. They did not find it. And to recoup the cost of the expedition, they turned to piracy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So these are
we didn't score. I guess we're robbing everyone on the way back.
These are treasure hunters that turn pirates.
Yep.
All right.
So he fell in with Captain Benjamin Hornigold and his first mate, Blackbeard of the Marianne.
Oh, really? This is the first entrance of Blackbeard.
These are the first time he's mentioned.
Ooh.
Yeah. So one of the coolest takeaways that I had from all this research is how unbelievably interconnected all of the pirate names that we know, most of the pirate names we know, they like knew each other. They were all within like 30 years of each other, and they were all notorious.
Your era for the golden age of piracy that's pretty
small. It's like 60 years.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
it's
small.
a relatively small region of concentration.
Yeah.
All things
that's
considered.
a good point.
Most of it took place in the Caribbean.
But most of it between England and Florida. Most of it.
Well, no.
And further, like Cuba and South America a little bit too. But
England, Spain, and France, the three main countries controlling most of the world at that point in time, and they all had colonized the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and
all the archipelago of islands scattered throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh.
It's badass.
So Black Sam...
Ron, that is a real word, Ron. I know you're at home asking, is archipelago a real word? It is a real word. Buddy.
It's just pronounced differently.
How do you pronounce it?
Archipelago.
Archipelago. I like that better.
That's good.
Because that's the way
that's right. God damn it.
So, all right. So he joined up on the Marianne under Captain Hornigold and First Mate Blackbeard. In 1716, the following year, due to some circumstance, Hornigold refused to attack an English ship. I think as I gathered, it had something to do with just like not starting a turf war because they were bigger. He's like, I don't want to die. Fuck this. Choosing discretion over valor, I think was how it was written. I like that. So, but not in mutiny fashion, but his crew basically said, all right, well, if you're not going to be a pirate, get the fuck off. So Captain Hornigold and Blackbeard left the ship. Hornigold voted off. Blackbeard left as his first mate, and we'll come back to those two. So he
teaser,
yeah,
nice. That's number one.
So he later was voted in as captain. That's how he got his first captainship.
We're back
Bellamy.
To
We're back to Bellamy.
Oh, okay, Bellamy. Okay.
Back to Bellamy. Yep, back to Black Sam. So he that's how he got his first ship. They voted the captain and first mate off, and he was voted in. He took over. Because he did not have the same.
I would never have guessed any form of piracy would have involved democracy. I would have assumed it was a fight to the death, and the winner is the captain.
You're in for a treat. I haven't seen the list, but you're in for a treat.
Huh?
There's the structure. It's not part of the list, but the Jolly Roger as we know it, the skull and crossbones. We're gonna go farther back than this. That was the Catholic Templars. That was one of their naval battle flags. And the structure of a pirate ship, captain, first mate, and the structure down is much older. It's an old Templar military structure. So they're actually carrying on a tradition. They carried on a tradition that's much older in the hierarchy of ships.
You're attesting that the code of piracy, because there was a code, so to speak, but the code of piracy is derived from Templar lore
Origins?
and manifesto, so to speak?
We're going to talk about it.
Okay, all right,
We're
cool.
going to talk about it later.
I'm fascinated. I would never challenge that. I'm just
No.
I'm trying to clarify that in my head because that's fucking cool.
There is we'll talk about it. There's a whole thing about the structure of piracy. And kind of Warlords of the Sea. I know we were making One Piece jokes, the anime One Piece. We're making jokes on the way here. And Dan still didn't know the topic on the way up. We were just talking about pirates because it was convenient. I was listening to some pirate metal. But
pirate metal?
Oh, yeah. Ailstorm,
dude. Go check them out.
Yeah.
All right.
Their most recent album is Captain Morgan's Revenge, I think. Or one of their more recent ones. Legend of the Crystal Skull. And I had on... This was my hook, my spoiler, just for funsies, was the Golden Age. No, End of the Golden Age is the name of that album.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of their old pirate metal albums.
All right, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
So Black Sam, his biggest haul that we know of, and it's the Whydah Galley. It doesn't matter. The Whydah Galley, but he overtook it on its maiden voyage. He chased it for 3 days, captured it. It had gold, ivory, indigo, and other high-value goods. Then he upgraded it with extra cannons and turned it into his flagship. Then he fell upon the shipping lanes to the Carolinas and New England and wreaked havoc. So he was a Carolinas pirate. It's a little bit further north than the Caribbean, but he built quite a reputation because he was only a pirate for about 1 year. And in that time, he captured over 50 ships. He was the richest pirate in known history.
Hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
He came in, wrecked those shipping lanes, stole a ton of stuff, became the richest flash-in-the-pan pirate ever. Because, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these pirates, when they were privateers and they had their marks, they had to give some of their take back to the crown to kind of fund the voyage or pay back the funding of the voyage and stuff like that. So, he had another nickname as well. He was known as the Prince of Pirates. He had that name because he was known for his mercy. He just wanted stuff. He wasn't like a murder hobo. He was known for overtaking a ship and saying, hey, look, give me your stuff. We will kill you, but give us our stuff and join us or die. And given a choice like that.
So it was a join us or die situation, not
very
like a
common.
Give us your stuff and you can go on this island until you get rescued kind of situation.
I didn't come across any actual cases of that happening.
Gross.
But I mean, so maybe he was like, all right, run ashore, get off. We're going to take your ship, whatever. I don't know exactly what determined him as a merciful captain, but his ship was driven ashore in the Whydah Galley, the Whydah. How do you pronounce that? Whydah?
Spell it again?
Whydah.
Whydah?
Whydah Galley.
Whydah?
No.
Why the fuck you asking us? We don't know.
Why the fuck did they not use English?
Whydah Galley.
But it ran ashore. It was wrecked April 26th, 1717. And it sank. And of the 145-man crew on board, 143 of them drowned on scene. So, and that was the rough, abrupt end to the richest pirate in history.
For 1 year. That's amazing.
He just crashed and drowned. Which is unfortunate. I guess it's always a risk as a pirate, but if just no valor. That's not not going out in battle. Yeah, that's not going out in style.
That is the literal definition of the candle that burns brightest.
Yeah,
extinguishes first.
Yeah, that's a good point. Too bad. Something as simple as like the Titanic.
Yo, he ran ashore because his ship was so fat with gold.
He's actually run ashore by a nor'easter, which is a type of ship.
No, it's a type of ship? It's a storm.
Nor'easter is a weather pattern.
Oh, they talked about it like a ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have it as a ship in my notes. All right, cool.
Maybe that's a pirate thing.
Yeah.
Yar, there's the nor'easter.
Maybe that's where they got the term for the weather pattern is from the type of ship that would fuck shit up.
Let's go with that because that's way cooler.
Way cooler.
That is cooler. It's probably just the name of a storm, though. But so then
Josh is like, the story changes completely when I think of it as a storm now.
Yeah. But that's okay. He's not the first and only pirate to go down by storm. But yeah, so he was wrecked.
Wait, I guess by the hot chick in X-Men?
You know what, man? I got a hot chick story for you, and it's in the list.
You have a female pirate in the story?
Dude.
By order of the queen.
Nice.
So, number 8.
Number 8. I can't.
So, number 8 is, I believe, the latest pirate on the list. He was a Chinese pirate. His name was Chung Po Sai. He lived from 1783 to 1822.
I can see Ron looking at me right now. Even though he's not here, we're doing our best not to be the
I'm proud of you not laughing at a Chinese name.
Sure.
I'm proud of you.
What I was thinking about doing the yar, but in a Chinese. Never mind. Go ahead. No, it's not going to happen. Without Ron here, it loses its luster.
I want to hear it.
I need somebody else as immature as I am, like Ron.
How do you translate yar to bad Asian accent?
I don't know. I need Ron for that. So that's what I need him for. I need Ron for the bad Asian translation.
All right, Ron, you have some homework.
Bad Asian translations for piracy, Ron. You got it, buddy.
But his name translates to Chung Po the Kid. So he was a poor fisherman's son who went on to become one of the most prolific pirates of all time. When we were making warlord jokes in the car, this is who I was thinking of.
So this is the first Chinese entry. So an authentic Chinese person that's now entered the piracy game. So we've had the Spaniards, we've had the Brits, we've had Central and South Americans kind of at least loosely talked about to have vessels to be in this game. So now we've got China entering into the game.
There was one of the ships that I mentioned earlier was from Manila as well. It was a Filipino ship. So he, let's see, where did I leave off? I'll start over. So he came from a poor fishing family. He became so legendary because of a treasure he supposedly buried in a cave that bears his name on Chung Chau Island, southwest of Hong Kong. You're going to start to see some real themes here, One Piece fans. Have you watched One Piece, Adam?
Nope, don't even know what that is.
If Dan and I make One Piece jokes, it's an anime that's all about pirates with superpowers. Oh. It's like a one-sentence explanation. It's 1,000 episodes long.
So far.
It's not done. They have not written an ending to it.
Also, I vote we immediately start making as many One Piece jokes as possible just to confuse Dad.
All right. So he did not set out for a life of piracy, though. At the age of 15, he was kidnapped and he was pressed into service, which is unfortunately a very common way for a lot of people to become pirates. They were kidnapped, they were slaves, they were brought in, they needed labor. But he was really good at it. So they started giving him more responsibility. He grew up with the ship, right? He's 15. I guess at that point he's probably pretty much considered an adult, 15 and 1798. So year 1800, 15 years old is probably,
that's
you could be
independent,
independent. Yeah. But he was doing so good at it that he was raised up. And then the captain who kidnapped him and his wife adopted him.
Oh,
they brought him into the family. They were so blown away by him that they said, "We want to make you family." Unfortunately, his father, he died. That happens.
The real father or the captain that adopted him? His adopted father.
His adopted father.
Okay.
These are everything else is his adopted family from here. So his adoptive father, he passed away. He drowned. His widow and Chung, they took over his pirate fleet. I'll talk about his fleet in a minute. They took over the pirate fleet, became first mate, right-hand man. And then they started to develop a bit of an incestuous affair.
Oh, no!
Then they got married. Okay.
Foster mom!
I know, it's weird.
There's porn categories for that,
It's true.
They all are all under the taboo category.
Yeah,
it's genre.
That's one of the things. I can dig it. He was 15. He was adopted. It's weird. It wasn't his family. They probably never presented themselves as his family. They were just a captain. They're like, all right, you're a family.
There's a conspiracy there. I bet the foster dad didn't really die from drowning. I bet he was drowned. Of course, I guess that's dying from drowning, but I bet it was homicide, not accidentally falling into the water and drowning.
I mean,
it's a conspiracy.
Perhaps.
It's very possible because at the height of that fleet's career, command, whatever, they were over 600 ships strong.
Holy shit.
With over 50,000 pirates underneath them.
That's not piracy, that's an army.
He was the first warlord of the sea.
Damn.
Yeah, huge armada.
And this is fucking Whitebeard status.
It is.
This is towards the end.
Father of the sea shit.
This is towards the end of the Golden Age. This is the latest.
This is technically after what is considered the Golden Age of piracy, but it was so noteworthy that I included it. He and his fleet, they controlled all of the shipping lanes around southern China. They controlled all of those waters, and they kind of hamstrung China's ability to get into the water because that was his turf. That was his country, right? So in 1810, though, this was, let's see, I don't have a year on when he took over, but so 1810, the Chinese authorities launched an equally massive counter-campaign to take piracy out of their seas. So, seeing the writing on the wall, he decided, this is where I had that expression earlier. He decided discretion was better than valor. So he accepted a pardon, joined the Chinese Navy, and spent the rest of his life as a pirate hunter. He turned on everybody, lived out the end of his days, happy, healthy, wealthy.
You know, we do glamorize piracy in general. Yes, and it's partially Disney's fault, of course, but it's just society. It's what society does. Root for the underdog, root for the bad guy that you fall in love with because of the drama, like mafioso style, mafia bosses and stuff. You root for the mafia guys to be victorious in what they want to do. Same thing for piracy. We glamorize it.
You watch Star Wars, right?
They're the rebellion.
You root for the rebellion.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
It's really fucked up how every time you watch media, you root for what is in society considered the bad guy.
You know, I wouldn't necessarily root for Luke Skywalker if he was raping and pillaging people, though. That might push it over the boundaries a little bit.
So
Order 66, man.
If you take the rape out of it,
just pillage.
Yeah, because what are they pillaging?
And murdering. I guess they're murdering.
But it was incredibly common for them to give you a choice.
Damn it, you and your analogies.
Your booty or your life. And booty is a reference to gold, not rape. It's your money or your life. Like, give me your shit and join me, or you die. You have the choice.
Guess what? He's the captain now. Yeah. Whoever the fuck that guy is, he's in charge.
I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
Are we going to talk about any modern pirates?
There is no modern pirates in here.
Excellent, because I hate modern pirates.
It's changed. It's so different.
Is that a reference to something? Or you're just talking about like the Somalian?
No, I just hate modern pirates are dicks. They're just douchebags with speedboats and guns.
And AK-47s.
Yeah. I mean, we probably, I don't know, modern like power boats and machine guns is just not as sexy as sailboats and swords and cannons.
Tall ships and cannons and buccaneers and swashbucklers.
Leave it to our council members. Yes, okay, I got it. Luke Skywalker was instrumental in murdering hundreds of thousands of people on the Death Star. I got it. All right. You got me there.
That's fine. Were they really people? They were clones with no sentience. I mean, come on.
You know what? You're right.
They were bred to be subservient and have no will of their own. Is it really murder?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Don't think clone, but say that same statement again. Just don't think clone this time.
But they are clones. I'm not going to say it because it's awful when it's real people, not cloned characters.
Clones have souls too, Josh.
All right.
We're going down a rabbit hole.
All right.
Next time on the Twisted 10.
On the after show, we're going to discuss the validity of souls in the Clone Wars.
Efficacy of clones having souls.
All right. But yeah, so that's Chung Po-sai, the largest pirate fleet commander, the first warlord of the sea. Yeah.
I like it. That's cool.
Yeah, that was
600 ship
warlord of the sea. He was fucking king of a floating nation.
Yeah, that's
50,000 people? Yeah, for sure. That was bigger than most like cities of the time.
Yeah. That's badass. Chung Po-si. New favorite pirate.
New favorite pirate. He did fuck his mom though.
Stepmom.
Not even step foster.
Yeah, not even that. Just like, hey,
because stepmom would have meant his dad was his real dad, and his.
It's not even. There was no legal jargon. She didn't fucking raise him. They're like, hey, we kidnapped you, and you fucking work for us,
and you could swing around this boat and hang the fucking rafter. Yeah. I don't know the right terminology. They were like, do that jibbing well or whatever.
They were like, clean the fucking ship, and he was like, I clean this ship real good. Oh, and I'll kill them guys for you. And they were like, damn, son. All right, you're family now.
Yeah. Call me dad.
And then his, dad, older brother, what the fuck ever, he died, and he was like, well, I mean,
Mom's like, it ain't gonna fuck itself.
Yeah, she was like, well, I don't want to fuck any of these other swabs, and I've already seen what you can do with a sword. God
damn it. No, I can understand where it's
keeping
coming from.
It in the family, bruh.
All in the family. All right, so number 7.
Ooh,
we've only gotten through 3 of these.
That's good. I'm loving these. These are, I don't know any of these stories.
Josh. You picked the most interesting topic possible. I'm so glad there's only 3 of us. Sorry, Ron, but we would be here until next week if there were 4 of us.
We aren't tangenting very hard off of this list either, which is unusual for us.
It's kind of a tough one to tangent off of.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of a data dump from 400 years ago, so 300 years ago. So, all right, number 7, Bartholomew Roberts. 1682 to 1722, so 40 years.
Would this be Black Bart?
This is Black Bart Roberts.
The OG himself?
The OG himself. So, he captured and looted more ships in his career than any of the other notoriously successful pirates of the age. Blackbeard, Rackham, Francis Sprigg, Edward Lowe. Some of those guys we're going to talk about, some of them we're not, but he was considered the most effective in his area by numbers. In 1719, Roberts had been an officer aboard a slaver that was captured by pirates who forced him to join them. Join us or die. Within 6 weeks, he had impressed his crewmates so much that when their captain was killed, the pirates elected Roberts their new captain. His career as a pirate captain got off to a spectacular start when, sailing to South America, Roberts came across a Portuguese treasure fleet assembling in a bay in northern Brazil. Pretending to be one of the convoys, he slipped into the fleet. So he snuck in into their massive fleet. So that night, he got one ship, kidnapped the captain, and pointed out which of the ships in the fleet had the most gold on it.
Oh, cool.
Then he captured that ship and fled before the Portuguese had any idea what was going on. They just saw one of their ships went wild and bailed. The ship that he took was not only a warship. I mean, it was a massive warship, but it also had 40,000 gold pieces and jewelry that had been commissioned for the King of Portugal. So he robbed the King of Portugal in the waters off of North Brazil and stole the largest ship in the fleet.
Damn.
In style.
Yeah. Total class. At the peak of his peak of his career, he had 4 ships and over 500 pirates. But most of his success isn't so much attributed to his combat prowess or anything like just his leadership skills. He's just really good at leading people. So people wanted to follow him. So he, let's see. During his 4-year career, Black Bart captured and looted over 470 ships in 4 years.
What was the other guy? What did he do in 1 year?
He did over 50 ships, but he was in a trading lane. So he was super wealthy because he was stealing trading ships and then reselling.
They were completely stocked.
That's 50 ships in 1 year, 480 ships in 4 years.
Yeah, 470.
That's 120 a year.
Yeah, he wins.
Yeah,
that's 10 a month.
With some fucking covert 007 fucking undercover.
Bruh.
Dude, slipping into a fleet and then whacking a captain and then getting him to identify the value and then taking that ship and sailing away without anyone ever knowing until it's gone.
That's why awesome. This age of piracy is so romanticized, because you could still get away with that kind of shit. That whole look like you belong and you do. There are very few circumstances where you can pull off a good, where you can hit a really good lick using that kind of simple, just
social dynamics and social engineering. Yeah.
You're like, that ship doesn't look like the other 49 ships that are out here. The fuck is this guy?
It's got the right colors, mate. Oh, let him go then.
That was a good one.
Was it?
That was good.
This is a decent accent.
It's a good pirate voice. Yeah, I can buy it.
I like that. Thanks, Josh.
But he was also known for being notoriously gruesome. He was awful when he needed to be. 1722, he captured a slave ship while the captain was ashore. Sent him a message demanding ransom for the return of his ship. When the captain refused, Roberts burned the ship and all 80 slaves on board.
Oh, yikes.
So, not to say that he was Prince of Pirates, as
I get it that that's precedent setting and all, but still,
he was Prince of Pirates.
Yeah, but so
I just had to remind them, I'm still the Prince of Pirates.
But he, for all of his acumen, all of his accomplishments as a pirate, same year, 1722, he got into a fight with a British Royal Navy vessel, and
an actual sea fight. Then
an actual sea fight in the first broadside, the first cannon volley at each other, he took grape shot to the throat and died. The first round of...
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, yep, his throat was torn out by grape shot in the first broadside.
What's grape shot, just out of curiosity? Is it like pellets?
I think it's like buckshot. Yeah, I think it's like...
small pellets, yeah.
It's just a giant barrage.
It's of
small,
tiny little balls of metal, yeah.
Would have been lead at that point too. So
it's grape shot. It's the size of grapes.
So if he didn't die from the impact, he would have died from the carcinogens on the lead
poison, maybe. But he had a standing will or wish with his crew, I guess. They said he wanted to be buried at sea. So when he died, they weighed him down. They threw him overboard before they were captured. They honored his wishes to the end, and then they all were arrested by the Royal British Navy and then hanged. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's Black Bart Roberts, Captain Black Bart.
Dude, I'm digging these. You're going to get me in a fucking pirate mode. I'm going to go up and start playing Sea of Thieves a little bit.
I'm waiting to see if any of these ships, upon capture, had a we will not be captured policy, and if they blew themselves up. Because they had enough ammunition to do it.
Well, so in your research, we haven't really touched on this at all, other than with some of the inspirations for the code, but were pirates religious or superstitious? We know superstition is at least ceremonialized in movies and shows, but were they really, religious figures or superstitious people?
There was nothing really of note for or against religion, but they were definitely superstitious. One of the captains we're going to talk about later is like a big deal. The whole thing about women on the ship was like a real superstition. And he would bring women on the ship. It was like there's reason for it. It wasn't like to like run train on by the whole pirate crew. Just like he would bring like finely dressed women from the colonies onto the ship because he was like very charismatic. So
he was the Rico Suave of pirates.
And he's one. Yeah. I'm skirting around it because he's a name you guys will know. So I don't want to get ahead of myself.
All men of the sea, even in modern times, are superstitious. Like dudes that spend their lives out on the water, they're hella fucking superstitious about the water.
Yeah, we should pick Tax Brain sometime. Ask for some Submariner superstitions.
Dude, that would be a fantastic idea,
bro.
Like I know there's a tradition, and I know it's changed, and we talked about this fucking 5 years ago. But there's a superstition. Here's our first tangent, Josh. There's a superstition or a ritual, like almost like a hazing ritual, when you cross the equator for the first time. The people who haven't crossed the equator, I don't know if I'm giving away secrets of the Navy or something, I have no idea, but when you cross the line, the equator itself, you're supposed to do something, and there's like a practice and a ritual for that virgin crossing of the equator. It's supposed to be kind of cool. On ship, anyway.
I wonder what that was. Now I'm curious. Now I'm going to have to Google that.
Discord might hook us up with some of that answer during the break. That'd be cool to see.
All right. Number 6. Stayed. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks for bringing that back. I still do that in my head every time. Every time a number is said, number 10. Number 10. Every time, without fail.
You can thank Jay for originally starting that whole practice with us.
It's stuck with me. I do it to you guys now, too, in like the second half of your list. And I do it without thinking. You're like, number 3. Number 3. Oh, we don't do that anymore. Fine. All right, number 6. Stede Bonnet. 1680 to 1718. like just a handful of years off of the last two pirates we've talked about.
38.
So he was nicknamed the Gentleman Pirate. That was what he was known as, the Gentleman Pirate. He had, before his life of piracy, he was a wealthy plantation owner in Barbados. And he was an army major. He was wealthy. They were a sugar farm. I think it was sugar cane. Either way, very wealthy, very affluent, educated, held officer rank in the army. But he earned his fame as a pirate because he was wildly incompetent at it. He was awful at it.
Yes.
So he was born into wealth. He carried it on, lived in like we're talking about the year 1800. So his wealthy family with a sugar plantation and, the army of, likely slaves. Like he wanted for nothing. Yeah. He did nothing.
Fuck you, Dad. I'm going to become a pirate.
Yeah.
By the way, can I have a couple of ships?
So in 1717, he decided to not only escape his structured home, I guess he was also having some marriage problems. So he bought a ship.
Maybe he couldn't do anything right in the bedroom either.
Yeah, or he was doing too much right in the bedroom. To help.
He was the gentleman pirate, so there's a possibility to that.
Maybe so, but he bought a ship. He hired 70 sailors. He named it the Revenge. Outfitted it with the best cannons of the day. I don't really know what that equates to, but he outfitted it with great cannons. I couldn't find a number. And he set out to go become a pirate. In his time, he seized only a few small ships, really to the credit of his crew.
Sir, gentleman pirate, is that what you want us to call you? Yeah. You're in a lake. So, yeah. Thank you for paying us, but we're not going to have much piracy in a lake.
That's true. And to your point, though, as an incompetent pirate captain, there's not a lot to keep your crew there other than healthy wages. He funneled money from his family, and he paid them great, well above average wages. I couldn't find.
So they didn't even have to loot or pillage, and they still got paid.
They were getting paid. But
yeah. So part of me
they were
thinks
playing pirate. He was paying them to be his friends.
So, in part of the lore that I understand of piracy is you when you choose the life of piracy, you're choosing it not just for the reward or the paycheck, but you're choosing it for the lifestyle. I can only imagine that 70 or so crew members are like, we're getting paid, but fuck this shit, I'm out. This is boring. We're not doing anything fun.
And you nailed it. You're actually dead on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so what ended up happening is they were like trying to do some piracy, whatever. He was like, "Oh, that's a ship. Go get them." They were all pirates. They were good pirates.
Sir, that's a rowboat.
Like, there's no money on that. It's abandoned, whatever. But he, off the coast of Florida somewhere, he met Blackbeard.
Ooh.
The Blackbeard, the Edward Teach Blackbeard.
Really?
Yeah, and Blackbeard convinced him because he was so bad at being a pirate captain to turn over his ship and crew in exchange for
his life.
Not his life. No.
Oh, okay.
He didn't give him the life or death balance, but he said if you turn the Revenge over, his ship over to me and my fleet and your crew, and you can come be in a position. Like, he put him on his ship. He was on Queen Anne's Revenge, Blackbeard's like main ship. He was there. He wasn't in a position of authority. So
wait a minute. Was the Revenge the name of this guy's boat? Did Blackbeard take that and rename it to Queen Anne's Revenge? That'd be awesome. Cool story.
Say no for now.
Oh, okay.
All right. It couldn't be a pirate list without Blackbeard. So we're definitely gonna talk about him.
He brought him on and said, "Hey, you can count my beans. Just give me your shit. You can be around for all the piratey stuff, but you're bad at it."
Mr. Blackbeard, sir, can I still get my paycheck sent to me from Daddy? Is that okay, sir?
So he did that for a little while. In 1717, he bought the ship. In 1718, he gave the ship to Blackbeard and was a guest on his ship. Again, born into money, had more money than he literally knew what to do with. So he gave it to Blackbeard. But so he still got to like do the pirate thing, whatever. He got to be the rich boy on the side. That's fine. He was given that same year a royal pardon and a royal commission to go privateering against Spanish ships.
Really?
Said,
okay.
Hey, you're wealthy, affluent. You have access to pirates.
Hella pirates.
Here's a privateering mark to go after the Spanish. You in for it? You want a privateer for the crown? And he accepted.
That's so badass.
Is it going to be real fighting, or can we just fight palm trees again?
No, think about it. He had this hella station. He wanted to go play pirate. Ran into the pirate of pirates. Was given an offer he couldn't refuse, or like in his desires to be a pirate, why would you refuse? And then he was given the ultimate, like, hey, Blackbeard, sir, I know that you already gave me everything I could ever offer, and I gave you my ship, but here, let me offer you something else. Would you like to pirate under the crown?
So he accepted it, but he reneged on it. He left it behind. He returned to a life of piracy with Blackbeard. Or because of Blackbeard, not with Blackbeard anymore. He adopted the alias Captain Thomas and changed the name of his ship to Royal James in an attempt to hide his identity.
Okay.
Restart, privateer, like he had, he was actually a pirate, whatever. It did not work. Everybody knew who he was. Everybody knew his ship. There wasn't that many notorious pirates. He sailed with Blackbeard. So a month later, he's like, I'm not going to do this for the crown. I'm going to go be a pirate again. A month later, British naval expedition came across him.
Just some spoiled fucking brat kid at this point.
For sure.
All right.
The British Royal Navy on expedition came across him in Cape Fear and took most of his crew, took a ship, but he managed to escape. And he was on the run for a few weeks. They caught him. They took him to Charleston. There, he got everything he wanted. He was tried, convicted on 2 counts of piracy, sentenced to death by hanging, and executed December 10th, 1718. So he wanted to play pirate. He got to hang out with Blackbeard, like the pirate. He got to hang out, get commissioned by the crown. Like, he checked all the pirate boxes, right? He did all the things that you could possibly do as a successful pirate.
That has a movie.
And then he was put to death.
You could write a screenplay around that story right there. If that guy's life, make it a comedy, obviously. You'd have to. But like make him seem like a Will Ferrell, prouder than he should be to be a pirate and completely fucking it up, but he doesn't realize it. Oh,
you know who comes to mind?
I'm trying to
think
of...
The late Robin Williams. Would be perfect for a comic pirate.
I can't picture Robin Williams in anything that has to do with pirates because of Hook. Because he was in...
It's true.
Hook.
He was...
Peter Pan, yeah.
I'm trying to think of which rich kid turned rock star biopic this reminds me of, because I know I've heard this exact story somewhere else. Like, this rich kid turns away from his life to go live a life of like hardship and rebellion and adventure, and like is the worst at it, but keeps falling
that is a stereotypical
into fortune.
That is a stereotypical story. Yeah,
just
that you're
like
right.
Tragically burns out. And nothing good ever comes of
There's
it.
There's probably 50 movies or 50 screenplays that are written about that theme right there. Right. You're probably 100% right. Just like what was the one movie that has been repeated time and time again? They did it in Avatar, Ferngully. That same Ferngully story, the whole story behind how it's all written.
Oh yeah, the outsider hero.
Yeah. So in this case, it is the rich boy rebellion, but is a dodo. Yeah, that's got to be out there somewhere. I can't imagine somewhere.
So that's 10 through 6.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. That is
great.
That I am unbelievably impressed, number one, with the amount of detail that you've gone into with this list so far, because it's it is fun. It doesn't sound scripted or read or like you're reading off of just some, I mean, I know you are, but the point is you're into it. You can feel that you're passionate about this, the topic, and that's exciting to me when the host is really passionate about what they're bringing, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm super stoked I'm here for this, because like pirates is one of my all-time favorite historical topics. It's fucking fascinating and badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ultimate, mankind's ultimate freedom. Like sailing the seas, doing what you want. I mean,
what a King of the Pirates is the most free.
What the Black Pearl really is. Freedom.
You know what? I bet they didn't loot on any of those ships though.
Good. What?
Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0.
You know, you're probably right.
Did you see where I did?
That was good.
I segued hard into it.
That was good.
Is that a good? All right.
That wasn't even that hard.
What shipping line does Manscaped use to get their...
exclusively East India Trading Company
All
like
right.
that throwback? You like the throwback? No, that's not what.
So we can have some tea with our smooth balls.
You could, yes, you could. Yeah,
but don't put your smooth balls in the tea. Nobody
Why not?
wins. Nobody wins.
Why not? That's a true tea bag right there. No?
Adam, do you want some tea?
I tell you, if you use the Manscaped products first, I would have no fear that I'm going to get some funk off of Josh's balls. Again. Now, check it out, guys. Go to manscaped.com. Check out the new Performance Package 4.0. We've got a couple of our listeners and our friends, really, that have hit us up and told us that they're buying this. It includes that brand new Lawnmower 4.0, which is also something that we're going to be giving away in a month or so. So stay tuned into the show. Head over to, by the way, we are giving something away again tonight later in the show. So head over to the announcements page in Discord. Make sure you find the Manscaped giveaway announcement and add a reaction, add a heart or an emoji or something as a reaction to that post that Josh put in there, and we'll draw somebody on the show live tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We'll do that draw for those listening live between number 2 and number 1 later tonight. And the big giveaway that Adam just mentioned, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker 4.0. Actually, we have 2 Weed Whackers. They are, that's like the nose hair and ear hair trimmer. October 26th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That one.
These are expensive products, dude. These are pricey.
Yeah, they're $70 and $90 without our discounts. So, but October 26th, you have to be in Discord. You have to be on the live stream to win those prizes. So all of these prizes up until now, give away 1. You do not have to be listening live, though we would love it if you did. You do not have to be here live for these giveaways. So far, whoever wins, I'll reach out to you. I'll get your information and we'll get that to you. If you win one of the early prizes, one of the smaller prizes, that does not preclude you from the big prizes. So if you have won something already, congrats you guys. You can still win the big prizes. So we'll see you guys, I guess, about a month now from recording. That doesn't mean as much for release, but about a month from now.
That'd be exciting. All right, am I queuing this up?
For Manscaped, 20% off, free worldwide shipping. Use the code TWISTED10.
All capitals, no spaces,
checkout.
no numbers.
And just to keep us in the mood, on the pirate vibe going into the break, I have something a little special.
We're not playing Truphonic this week.
It's not Truphonic tonight, so it's a little on theme tonight.
Oh wait, is this the metal that you were talking?
It is not. That is a very licensed track.
Okay.
I do not have that kind of scratch to hire Ailstorm to write us break music.
All right, take a listen to whatever I don't know what this is, so take a listen to whatever Josh has queued up for us. Discord will be hanging out with you guys in the break, and for everybody else just listening to the show, we'll be back at the end of this song. Arg! How do you come back?
How do you follow up slightly off copyright infringement pirate music?
Oh, you don't. Oh.
Uh-oh, Josh.
The mouse has me.
You've picked the wrong the wrong music for us to use in the break.
Join us or die. Oh.
This show has received a cease or desist. We're no longer able to produce the Twisted 10. We appreciate all of the fan support. Listeners, we love you. Council members, we pushed the line too far.
What was the other thing we were supposed to say? Go support Disney, please.
Yeah, go support Disney.com/plus/Hulu. What?
This is where we go off the rails.
All right, so
it was not the Disney song. Let's point that out just to make sure we're clarifying it. It was a copyright-free version of a similar song.
Yeah, a very inspired song.
Very inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean, but that was hilarious. Dude, this is a fucking great list. I am loving the entire theme. I was saying it during the break, but I'm going to say it now. If you would have given me 100 guesses at what top 10 list you were going to bring tonight, I would not have even come close to anything pirate themed. You've never done, like, Ron and I have hobbies. Our hobbies are, he's paleoanthropology and, history of man type stuff. I'm kind of cosmos and astrophysics and, weird, bizarre, even conspiracy side. You gamer side and tech stuff. I mean, that's kind of your motif. Never would I've ever gone. No, Josh is going to bring a list about the coolest fucking pirates in the world.
Well, I was listening to pirate metal, so.
Well, I mean,
pirate list. That's
your inspiration
that's
from
how it
somewhere.
Happens.
Yeah,
I was listening to some of that Ailstorm. But
big shout out to the council members again. Thank you guys very much, and to the new council member that we got during the show. Thank you as well.
Yeah, thanks, dude. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not throw a little love to our new council elder.
Our very first council elder, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's the new
Mr. T. I pity the fool. No, just T. I think
T.
It gets people confused.
Should I not say
Mr. T?
All right,
Mr. T was an action character, Josh, in the show called The A-Team. This was before your time.
Oh, they had that minivan.
What are you talking about? He was Clubber Lang. He beat the shit out of Rocky.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have ever had a reason to tell you this. Once upon a time, when Adam and I were in Iraq, there was a unit there that had that right type of van. A panel van, and they painted it up like the A-Team truck. So there was an A-Team truck that drove around our base in Iraq.
In the middle of Baghdad. Think about that for a minute. What that looked like.
That's badass.
Yes.
There was no Mr. T or TV stars.
But none of the
wait, were they like Blackwater operatives or some shit like that who just took it upon themselves to be the A-Team?
Just boring dudes like us.
Probably IT guys.
That makes more sense.
They're like, oh, look, I got a paint roller.
I can't imagine real mercenaries actually being that cool.
All right. Well, obviously we are talking pirates tonight.
We are talking.
Absolutely. We're talking about golden age of piracy pirates. These are 1650 to 1730. This is like 80-year window that we've got. Just different pirates. We went out of that a little bit. We talked about an older pirate, a slightly newer pirate, but whatever. It's all around the golden age. So our first pirate was number 10, Sir Francis Drake, from England, 1540 to 1596. That was his life, not his pirate career. Number 9, Captain Black Sam Bellamy, 1689 to 1717. Number 8 was Chung Po Sai, 1783 to 1822. Running the seas off of southern China. Number 7 was Barf.
I'm half man, half dog.
Captain Barf.
You got the Spaceballs reference?
I did, yeah. Bartholomew Roberts, or Black Bart. And number 6 was Stade Bonnet, 1680 to 1718, also known as the Gentleman Pirates.
Sorry, I had to get up in the middle of that. I had to go to turn the air conditioner back on. It's getting kind of hot down here.
It is a little bit warm down here. It might be because we're drinking. Whatever. We still have an air conditioner. Let's fix it.
That's right.
But we have for you, we got a little, what do you got for him, Adam? You got a little button for him over there.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Button. Yeah.
I almost did it. I got 2 weeks in a row.
I got your segment. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So we do, for our council members, we provide additional shows each week for our council members. So head over to twisted10.com and click on the How to Become a Council Member option. You can figure out what that is. Here is a snippet, tiny, short little snippet from one of our recent episodes. I've been having a really, really, really bad issue with snoring. Like, ridiculously bad because I've gained this extra weight, and I've always had a snoring problem when I got up. The heaviest I ever was 259. That was the heaviest I was ever in my life. But at about the 230 mark, I start to snore like a fucking dragon. It is bad, bad, bad. My 3-year-old is now making fun of me. She'll come late. When I'm still asleep in the morning, she'll come crawl up into the bed, and she'll lay next to me, and she'll go... mocking me.
That's awesome.
Because I'm snoring so loud, she's making fun of me. She's just mocking what she's hearing out of me, but she'll make fun of me. The other morning she comes up into the bed and I'm asleep, but I'm conscious. I'm alert. I know what's going on around me, sort of. I'm like coming out of sleep into being awake. She comes up and I feel her presence. My eyes are not open yet, but I feel her presence. She gets right up next to me, right up next to my face. I'm like, I'm going to get a kiss from my daughter. It was an awesome way to start a day. She gets right up next to me and goes, "Wake up, Daddy!" Fucking yells at the top of her voice. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so 100% true story on that. And that's happened now more than one time.
I believe it. And I know your daughter, and I can see all of that happening. You know, the thought didn't occur to me when we had this conversation originally, but I can attest to how bad you snore. Do you know that?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I used to be able to hear you. So I mentioned we were overseas, and we lived in containerized housing units. Yeah. We lived in these sheet metal boxes. They were nice enough, whatever. They had air conditioning. It was great. But I could hear Adam on the other side of the wall. We lived next to each other for a little bit, and I could just hear him in the middle of the night. I never banged on the wall to get him to stop.
I wouldn't have heard it anyway.
No, not at all.
I slept through CRAM alarms, man. It's very hard to wake me up.
Yeah.
I'm bad. I'm very bad about snoring, and so I've got a broken, deviated septum from when I was a kid playing soccer. I got kicked in the face several times. I could have had a way cooler story. I fucking fought off these bad guys
street fight
to save this. No, I stopped. I was a goalie, so I stopped many balls with my face. Insert whatever joke you want there.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's a sound drop. We have it now.
God damn it. But yeah, I've got a deviated septum, and I think that's been part of my problem as I've gained weight, that something in my sinuses just doesn't work. And man, I've tried everything. I've used those fucking strips on your nose. I've used those things you shove up your nose to open up your airwaves. None of it works.
You should go talk to a doctor about getting a CPAP.
Fuck that Darth Vader machine, man.
What if it works? What if it's great?
Skip the Darth Vader machine. There are fucking surgeries that can fix that.
And that's actually the direction I'm going. I would prefer, because I move in my sleep a lot. And I know those CPAP machines are pretty intense and use reverse pressure and some sort of fucking magic to work. I got it. But as much as I move around in bed, I don't think a CPAP would work for me. Or those little things you put in your pillow that raise and lower your neck when it snores, because I just move so much. Sometimes I'm on my pillow, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm at fucking 180 in my bed. I mean, it's just, who knows what I do in the middle of the night.
You should just take out a donation to get you a saline tube.
A saline tube?
Yeah, like sci-fi movies where they got the dude just suspended in a tube of goo with a face mask on.
I'd do that.
Sleeping 0 G's.
I am looking, though, I'm going to go talk to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat specialist, to get looked at. And probably going to go under the knife to get all this shit fixed.
Well, we have a mutual friend, JL.
Yeah.
He got the surgery, and he was ecstatic when he got it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He dropped it. He had CPAP before that, and he got the surgery. Never needed it again. Well, of course, it's been many years since I've talked to him, but...
I'm still trying to think who JL is. I just agreed to it to carry on the conversation. I don't know who that is. But that's what we'll talk about it later.
Jesse's his first name.
Oh, okay, Jesse. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's JL. All right, that makes sense now.
Yeah. So he swore by it, and our other friend, SD...
God damn these fucking codes. Look, my memory is already bad enough, but you can't start throwing codes my way.
That's
I'm
funny.
not going to... I think I know who that
That's
one is.
Funny. Yeah. But he said the new... Because I made the same remark. I was like, I could never sleep with a fucking CPAP. That sounds awful. Yeah. And he said the newer ones aren't that bad anymore. So it's like a white noise machine for volume. I don't know. I haven't used one.
You just wake up with an anchoring to want to kill Batman.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they make... they make a machine that...
Oh, there's the air.
Has like visual and audible stimulation that you can buy to, like, you can train yourself to lucid dream with it. I'm pretty sure they make something like that that's like an attaché to a CPAP machine. So like it'll flash lights and play certain noises when it detects REM sleep.
I'm going to be hooked up like a fucking Borg in bed.
Yeah, but then you'll have complete control of your dreamscape and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
That's true.
So much cooler than buying a VR headset.
Boy, that was the hardest tangent. From pirates to CPAPs.
No, you could become a pirate while you're dreaming.
All right, well, I will bring it back. We already did the recap, so I'm just going to pick it right back up with number 5.
All right, let's do it.
Number 5.
Born as William Kidd, 1645, 1701, more notoriously known as Captain Kidd.
All right.
So Captain Kidd, I kind of mentioned earlier, some of the members of the list were more affluent. He was one of New York's leading citizens. He was friends with at least 3 of the colony's governors. He took his time with civic activities, or filled his time with civic activities. He did a lot of charity work. He was also one of the prominent leading members for the construction project of the Trinity Church in New York, which still stands. His first seafaring command was in 1689 as a privateer. He got his mark from the governor of Nevis to fight off French ships. Nevis. You guys know where that's at?
Nevis, no.
Nevis. To fight off French ships, and granted letters of marque authorizing him to also go after French vessels for the duration of hostilities between Britain and France. So he had an open-ended privateering contract, or privateering mark. Excuse me. He also later was given an additional mark from governors of New York and the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. So he was a privateer, right? He didn't start as a pirate. There was no mistaking. He was like a mercenary. He went after pirates. Well, I mean, I guess he was a privateer. He wasn't a pirate. He had contracts for it.
He started off as a privateer. Yeah. That's where he started.
Started out, and that was his early notoriety. So in 1695, his mission was expanded, and he got the most important letter of marque from King William III. He was given a roving permission to go in the Indian Ocean and go after everybody who fell under that mark. Just go nuts in the name of the king. When he left London, he had a brand new ship. It was equipped with 34 brand new cannons. He had a 150-man crew. However, on his way out, he offended a Royal Navy captain by failing to salute his warship in the River Thames, which runs right through London. So, the officer stopped his ship, seized half of his crew, and put him into service in the Royal Navy.
What?
Said, all right, good luck on your mission for the king. Goodbye, fuck off, kid. But he made it. He made it to the U.S. He made it to New York. Because that was, of course, the western route to the Indian Ocean, was to go the least convenient way possible. So he made it back. He made it to New York. He made his half-crew transatlantic voyage, and he got whatever people he could find to fill the slots on his ship, which, guess what? They're all fucking pirates, because he's in New York trying to fill a ship to go privateering.
Right.
He hired a bunch of pirates. So he carried on. He made it all the way to the Indian Ocean. On the travel there, man, he lost a third of his crew to cholera. And then he never found the pirates he was sent there to hunt.
What?
He never found them.
What?
So
he lost a half initially, got them back up in New York, so rehired the pirates. Then he lost a third of all of that crew to cholera. Could you imagine being one of the guys that dodged both of those bullets on that crew? You're like, I need to fucking quit piracy.
I'm gonna go
tomorrow.
make pants.
Yes, 100%.
But now he had a crew largely populated by pirates. They started threatening mutiny if he didn't start being a pirate,
pirating
to recoup the money that was spent by them.
Again, back to that same thing about it's the lifestyle that a pirate wants, that looting and pillaging and debauchery. That's part of the lifestyle. It's not just the prestige of the title, but it's the lifestyle itself.
I mean, it's also 150 dudes who are or were pirates who have now sailed 3/4 of the way around the fucking planet.
Yeah, that's months
and
at the time.
Not getting paid.
Or laid.
Like, hey.
Or laid. I mean, that's important too.
They were getting laid.
Well, only when they looted and pillaged, but they weren't doing it.
I don't know if Josh has any notes in there about this.
Oh,
but
the Cabin Boys?
There's large evidence of pirates getting gay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean...
It's not anywhere on the list, but yeah.
It was a very common thing. There was... I don't... If it's in the list...
It's not. Please go nuts.
There were
I see what you did there.
there were multiple instances and historical records of like piracy and pirate crews sanctioning gay marriage.
Really? That's
between
cool.
pirates.
If you can't love the one you're with, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
I mean, brothers in arms, bro.
Yeah.
So, threatened with mutiny from his crew.
Transition out of that, Josh.
Good luck, buddy. I couldn't find a good way to segue back. So, threatened with mutiny by his crew, he catered to them a little bit and doing some proper traditional piracy. And they just started going after ships not covered by his privateering letters or privateering marks. But by 1698, his reputation had completely changed, and he was just full pirate. So, 1698, he attacked a British East India Company ship, and they were, as we've mentioned, the most prominent trading company on the planet.
Yeah.
And they sent word back to London saying, yo, King Charles? King William. It was King William
you
III.
don't fuck with the trade routes.
Yeah.
King.
They're like,
matter. Insert name here.
Yeah. Hey,
East India. Oh.
King Mickey. Yes.
But so they sent word back and they're like, yo, Captain Kidd is like pirating ships out in the Indian Ocean. So he was marked pirate. So he ran his time out in the Indian Ocean, finally decided to go back to the Americas. He went back, he landed in Boston. He was immediately bound in chains, thrown on another ship, sent back to London for trial and prosecution for piracy. When he got back, though, I mentioned he was like super sponsored. He had like 6 letters of marque from different governors and the king. But when they got back, because his reputation had become so both vilified and amplified, he became a villain. And all of that wealthy elite was like, I don't know this guy.
Yep.
And he was hung for it.
Absolute power.
Yep.
Corrupts absolutely. I mean, that's what he was given free reign to pretty much go do whatever he wanted to in the entire fucking oceans. And,
except for what he did.
Yeah, except for what he did. But, damn.
I would do anything.
So in May of 1701, he was hanged, and to turn him into an example for the, like from the top privateer to the worst loathsome pirate in the world, they put him in a cage and they let him hang over the River Thames for all other pirates and ships as they went in and out on that river.
That has become super, and it might have been before that particular pirate, but that image has become very synonymous with, ancient pirate lore. Is a hanging cage with bones of a former pirate in them. Yeah, that's very famous. That imagery is very famous.
And that it's not that it started with him. You're right. It's older than that, I believe, but it was purely to give a torturous death to the worst offenders, because they weren't always, like I mentioned, he was hanged and then put in a cage. They weren't always hanged first. They're just locked in a cage to suffer and die, and that's the, I guess, ultimate torture death. And if you're trying to come up with a terrifying deterrent to pirates, I guess saying we're going to lock you in a cage over the water in the sun, I think that would change my mind.
I mean, yeah. Any way you're going to get to death is going to change minds. But I mean, all right, I die of starvation or sunburn or dehydration. I mean,
all the above at the same time while being picked at by waterfowl.
Yeah, fuck those waterfowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Captain Kidd. That was his well-sponsored fall from grace. So nothing, he didn't have anything that I could find as far as like a massive fleet or anything. So he just kind of he's really good at being a privateer, and then he got fucked. But yeah, so Captain Kidd. Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 I mentioned earlier He was born John Rackham, 1682. He lived until 1720. His name as a pirate was Calico Jack.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a fucking giant brand now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a lot of rum is named after pirates.
I guess that's a good point. You know what? I should have brought fucking rum down tonight from upstairs. That would have been the quintessential drink we should have been drinking on Pirate Show.
That's true, and I should have pirated our break music too, so... We'll just call ourselves the Whiskey Subpar Pirates.
That works. We're the Whiskey Pirates. That's a fucking great band name right there.
The Whiskey
Pirates. I mean, there's a sea shanty called Rye Whiskey.
There we go. See, we're good.
Yeah, we covered it. All right, so number 4, Calico Jack. So his career was pretty mediocre, but his career as a pirate overlapped with a lot of prominent other pirates, which put him one step away from a lot of things that happened. Oh, his name Calico Jack was because he was a fan of wearing colorful clothing. That's it. He was just known for his attire, colorful.
Panama Jack, the clothing brand, ties to Calico Jack at all? Because that's all about colorful ocean wearing.
It checks out so far. He's Calico Jack. He was known for wearing bright, austere colors. And
maybe.
Let's see. So his specialty was plundering small vessels, but like trade ships. But occasionally he went after bigger ships. But in 1719, he accepted a royal pardon. This is where things get interesting. Yeah, he was a small-time pirate. But he gets a royal pardon in 1719, and we're going to talk about that pardon situation later. I have a lot of details about it. But he accepted it. He renounced piracy, accepted a commission from the governor of the Bahamas to hunt pirates. However, a love triangle involving Anne Bonnet, the future pirate, and Mary Reed got complicated.
Should I know that either one of those names?
Not yet. I haven't mentioned them yet.
Okay, because when you roll through them, some of those names I immediately remember from just
earlier on the list.
Yeah, well, not necessarily, but even in my childhood, I remember the names maybe through school or something. But those two names, I don't. I would remember women involved in pirate circles.
Wasn't Anne Bonnet the name of one of these previous pirate ships?
The closest that I've mentioned was Blackbeard's ship, Queen Anne's Revenge.
Oh, close.
It's close.
Not even close.
First name?
Yeah, Anne Bonnet. Queen Anne. But things got complicated. So Calico Jack and Bonnet stole a sloop, which is a type of ship.
Oh, yeah, small. It's a small ship. I know that from Sea of Thieves.
Little two-sail thing. It looks like a little stereotypical sailboat. Like small personal sailboat. It's not a big thing, but they're fast. So they were actually
more maneuverable than most other, but yeah.
They showed up a lot. It was apparently a common pirate tactic. You'd send your sloops out. You put your lieutenants on your sloops. You'd send them out to recon an area because they could get there and back quickly, and then you could use that knowledge to do your tactics on how to attack. So they were used a lot by pirates. But by stealing a ship, he voided his pardon. He was a pirate again, which put him back on the wanted posters. But he managed for a little while. October of 1720, a pirate hunter chanced upon his ship at anchor, while Calico Jack and most of his men were too drunk to mount a good defense. Yes.
That's against the code of piracy. Of course, it's the pirate hunter.
He was a pirate hunter. However, the only people who were able to mount even a notable defense was Anne Bonnet and Mary Reed. Now, Calico Jack, he was tried, convicted, piracy, sentenced to death by hanging, whatever. His career was fairly unnotable, but he lived on really because of what happened after this. So he created a situation where in the Bahamas, he fell in love with Anne Bonnet. Talking about late 1700s, and a woman being on a pirate ship was
taboo.
Impossible. It was just unheard of. They didn't want women on ships. They were, considered incapable of all the physical tasks, whatever. Women weren't on ships. So she dressed as a man. That was her whole life. When she was a kid, she was dressed up as a man too for other reasons, and her backstory doesn't matter. But so she...
Is any of those backstories she had a penis?
No.
Or she was legitimately a woman, though.
She was known to be attractive, actually. So she dressed herself up to look like a man who was...
They did this in Pirates of the Caribbean, too. That's
Anna
what the
Maria.
one chick did. She dressed, I forget her name, but she dressed like
Anna Maria.
a guy to get on the crew.
Yep. Yeah, so...
Arg, she says. That's cool, though.
Yeah, so she was caught and she was convicted, but she was spared being hanged because she was pregnant. So she pleaded her belly was the term, and she was spared because she had an unborn child. But she was given an opportunity to bid goodbye to Calico Jack. As I mentioned, they loved each other.
Oh, was it his kid?
It was.
Oh,
Definitely, yeah. That part was known. But he got emotional. He was going to be hanged. He loved her. They had a kid. He was emotional.
Sure.
And she said is documented as having said, "If you had fought like a man, you would not now hang like a dog."
Oh.
And she fucking left.
Damn.
So he was hanged November 18th of 1720, and his corpse was put on display at the entrance to Port Royal,
He
Jamaica.
didn't actually... Dan, I don't know if you know this. He didn't die of being hanged. He died from that fucking sick burn.
Burn.
Yeah, he was dead before he hung.
Yes, he was.
She fucking murdered him.
Ouch.
So you can actually... there's an inlet in Jamaica in his name. It's called Rackham's Cay. So you can actually go to the inlet named like in his... not honor, but memory, whatever. But I have a link. I'll share it for the show notes. But Mary Read and Anne Benet, it was interesting. They were both pretending to be men. Calico Jack, the captain, knew Anne Benet was on board. They loved each other, but knew that she was on board pretending to be a man. So she's hanging out. She's trying to just be passable and do her job and do her thing with Calico Jack. And then she starts to get close to another pirate on the ship named Mark. Mark
Zuckerberg.
I didn't write his name down. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I didn't write down the last name, which makes sense in a second. So this other pirate, Mark, they started getting on, or getting along, and they're kind of being friends, hanging out, spending time together on the ship. So Jack, he got jealous. So this is where it kind of steps into like pirate legend. Now, these are real people. These things really happen, but how it went down is a little uncertain at this point. But Mark...
He summoned the Black Pirate. I know where this is going, Josh. I've seen the movie. No, I'm kidding.
So he says to Anne, "Is there something going on? I'll cut his throat." And she says, "No, don't. Mark is actually Mary Read. It's another woman. Don't kill her." So unbeknownst to the rest of the crew, there are actually two women on board in guise as men.
I knew it was funny when he didn't stand to pee. Both of them. Maybe it's better that way.
So it was... from here, it kind of changed. Like, now it was like this love triangle I mentioned earlier in the story. That's what happened. So they...
So did you allude that the girls were kind of getting it on? Is that...
Well, that's...
is that what you're alluding to here?
That's the hard part. No one really knows, right?
The story is getting way better if that's the case.
So the deal is, she started to develop... She went on to say later that she had developed feelings for Mary, or for Mark, who then she found out was Mary. So... Was it like this sexual love triangle? I don't know. But like Anne was into Mary, Jack was into Anne, Mary was into Anne, and kind of Jack, whatever. That's why they stole a ship and left, and that's what led to all of that going down. And,
I do remember part of this story. Now that you're kind of tying the names together and the fake personas that they were trying to portray, I do remember that you could recognize this specific ship out of a fleet very easily. It's because on the mast, at the very top of the mast, they had these scrunchies that were multicolored that indicated that they were swingers. On the boat, as a throwback to the Villages, for any of our listeners who know what that means from Central Florida. I don't know if that was the after show or not. We've talked about it in the past, though. It's a senior citizens swingers community in Central Florida. So
the Villages.
They use scrunchies to identify what they'll
Villages.
Yes.
Yo, I don't know if you're still writing on after show topics, but I could tell you a funny story about the Villages.
Oh, yeah, I'll add it to the list.
Yes.
Not what you're expecting.
I'll take any story about the Villages. I love that place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Villages is great. It's a meme. It writes the content writes itself. But yeah, so that was Calico Jack and like the weird, like two secret women on ship and how that all went down and just that ravage burn that Anne Benet gave him at
Sick
the gallows.
burn, brah. Yeah, that sucks. About to be hung, and your girl just emasculates you.
Your baby mama.
Yeah, your childbearing mother. That came out wrong, but you know what I meant.
Your baby mama comes up to you at the gallows,
calls you a giant
poking
pussy
out and everything, and she's like, "Bitch." Oh, that's gotta hurt.
We need to have Dan do Mickey every so often because now they own us.
I'll just record you a soundboard.
Yeah, so that was really, the story starts with Calico Jack, but what really is just like there's so much mythos surrounding that love triangle. It's worth in its. I could have gone on at length about those three, and they rub shoulders with other prominent names from this list, other prominent names from just pirate history in general, and so there's so much more than I could put in just one bullet point on a twisted list. But yeah, Calico Jack. Number 3.
It
was only a matter of time until one of these names showed up on the list. We're going to be talking about Henry Morgan.
All right.
1635 to 1688. So he's a little bit earlier in the timeline, but he's still in the Golden Age.
The picture on the Captain Morgan's bottle.
I mean,
the pirate standing with his leg up.
I mean,
is that what it's supposed to represent?
The rum is named for Captain Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, so it's
the notorious Captain Morgan.
Well, I assume that's who this is.
Yeah, no, the very same. Okay. It's just I don't know if the Captain Morgan on the bottle represents what Henry Morgan,
the pirate,
actually looked like.
Okay, gotcha.
So, excuse me. Henry Morgan was a Welsh privateer who operated out of Port Royal, Jamaica, which, if you recall, was where 50 years later Calico Jack was hanged. He plundered and pirated Spanish Main and Spain's Caribbean colonies in the 17th century. He got rich, got notorious, got affluent. He became lieutenant governor of Jamaica and eventually retired to the life of a wealthy plantation owner.
Damn, are you serious?
Yeah.
After piracy.
So he arrived in the Caribbean in Jamaica. He's thought to have arrived in the Caribbean in 1655 in Jamaica as part of the Royal British Navy. There's no confirmation there. But by 1666, he was second in command of a fleet of buccaneers, privateers, operating against Dutch colonies during the Second Anglo-Dutch War. 1669, he pillaged the wealthy Spanish settlements around Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela, and in 1671, he mounted his most daring and ambitious expedition. Now, I mentioned earlier we were going to talk about Panama City again, where Sir Francis Drake unsuccessfully, let me go find the years, 100 years prior, had failed to take it. Well, Captain Morgan, he showed up in 1671 with a fleet of 36 ships, 2,000 pirates. He landed on the coast, and they rushed it. They ran through the jungles, and they seized Panama City. Pirates took over the capital of Panama, or what was effectively the capital of Panama.
No shit.
But he was there under English command, right? And England had signed a peace treaty with Spain. So to appease the very angry Spanish, he was arrested and sent to London for appearance's sake.
He's like, wait, I was just doing what you were told. What you told me to do.
He didn't get that memo.
It didn't make it to him.
Snail mail doesn't work the same way back in the 1800s.
They need newspaper delivering seagulls.
And seagulls are dumb as fuck. They're not good like pigeons. They're not homing pigeons. Seagulls are dumb.
Yeah, there's no way that would work.
I don't think homing pigeons work off of that long a distance either.
I think you're probably right about that.
But in 1674, after being, I guess, deported from Panama City, brought back to the mainland, he was knighted by King Charles II, sent back to Jamaica as lieutenant governor. That is how he retired from piracy as lieutenant governor. The king said, "Our bad, we couldn't get the word to you in time. Here's a pardon, here's a title. go back, have a position of authority where you want to be, and he wanted to go back to Jamaica.
Damn.
So he hung out there, wealthy, in politics, occasionally stepped up when he needed to be governor, his lieutenant governor, and died in 1688 of old age.
That's a hell of a story. That's a from piracy to politics kind of. Hey, in the after show, I'm gonna talk about me actually meeting our governor. Like him or not, I met the person that holds the position.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited to hear all about that. I know I got some of the cliff notes already, but
it's cool.
I think it's gonna be cool.
It's cool stuff.
All right, this is where a lot of these names start getting tied together. You guys ready for number 2?
We're down to number 2, matey. G'day, mate.
This is...
Hey, wrong.
Number 2.
So this is Captain Benjamin Hornigold. I've mentioned him a couple of times. A lot of these other prominent pirates have been connected to him, worked under him, done piracy with him. Let's see. Where did I mention him at earlier? Let me scroll up through all of these.
Number
names.
10.
Was it number? Was it?
I think it was with Francis Drake.
Because that was there's several names. Whatever. I'll recap it because there's more. I have more names to add to his list of influences.
Do you have the Pepe Sylvia list?
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Pepe Sylvia. So he started off as a privateer during the War of the Spanish Succession. He had letters of marque to legally prey upon the French. And after the war, knowing only privateering and having no need for privateers anymore, he turned to piracy. His first recorded act of piracy was in 1713 when he used sailing canoes and a small sloop to capture and loot merchant ships around the Bahamas.
Yes!
Canoes and sloops. Sailboat.
Canoes and Sloops is a really good band name.
Canoes and Sloops.
Canoes and Sloops.
That's Ailstorm's.
But it's all one word.
It's Ailstorm's next album.
It's all one word. There's no spaces. Canoes and Sloops.
Sloops and Canoes.
Sloops and Canoes.
Boats
All right,
and
I
hoes?
like that.
Boats and Hoes.
By 17...
I can just see these fucking pirates in these one-man canoes just row, faster. Oh, sorry. It's comical.
Oh, it's good.
I see so much comedy in one-man pirate canoes coming at you. Do they have little mini cannons on them at least? Come on.
I don't have a lot of record of weaponry. I think they just
it's a
rode
hella
up the
fast
side.
sloop moving at like Mach 7 with like 18 canoes just strung to it, and they're all just surfing behind it. A fucking armada just coming at you.
Oh. And that's the plot to Moana 2, actually. So
you're welcome.
Mickey chiming in again there.
Man, that's my favorite Disney movie. Out of the current generation, Moana, it just gets stuck in my head. So good.
It's so good.
It is. My kids like it. Maybe that's why I have to like it. By 1717, he was in command of the most powerful ship in the region, a 30-gun sloop. 30 cannons.
Sloops usually have between 2 and 4 guns, at least that I know
and
of.
at most 6 sails. Or 4 sails, sorry. 6 sails is when it changes category.
30 guns on a sloop. That was not a boat. That was a floating cannon.
Yeah, it's a pile of guns with a sail.
That is the piracy equivalent to the A-10 Warthog is what that is. It's just like, we have all these cannons. What do we do with it?
When they shoot that, it just goes underwater for a moment and comes back up. Just
no, it leaves the water.
It rises up off the water.
Oh. But so because of how powerful his ship was, the region where he was at, nobody could compete with him. Nobody could fight him. It was a sloop. It was super fast, super maneuverable.
Fucking baddest bulldog in the junkyard right there.
Yeah.
It's little, tight, fucking full of piss and vinegar, man. That's a hell of a boat.
But namesakes under his flag, Black Sam Bellamy, R number 9, Stead Bonnet, number 6, and Blackbeard. And guess what number that is?
Number 1. Yeah.
Anyways, it was inevitable. I felt that spoiler was worth it. Now, you had asked me earlier about the pirate code. This is where it comes in. This is where he comes in. So he set up a base of operations in Nassau.
That's not the Space Center of Florida. That is Nassau, Bahamas.
Nassau, Bahamas, correct. So Hornigold and one of his rivals, Henry Jennings, they transformed Nassau into the de facto Pirates Republic, governed by its own code of conduct and regulations. They founded a small colony, their own little nation of pirates, and had their own rules, their own enforcement, which carried into their ships, which helped set precedent. All of these prominent names who splintered off of Horngold and went and started being notorious captains, they took his ideals and his structure, which he took from his...
So they set a maritime standard, too. So the laws that they set broke the boundaries of land for where they were establishing that colony. It was a maritime law that they abided by as well, or code that they abided by as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's the Pirates Code. That whole thing comes from this time in history where Horngold and Jennings stood up a pirate colony and like put rules down and had it enforced in the culture. So what those rules were, I don't really know, because by 17, let's see, what was the year here? Oh, I scrolled a little bit. There we go. So shortly after its founding, the colony fell apart. Just infighting, problems, a bunch of pirates. It was inevitable, and this kind of brought in the end of the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean.
Oh, so that's where they fucked up. They wrote stuff down, tried to make it formal, and that kind of goes against what piracy is all about to begin with.
It's true.
It's lawlessness, anarchy on the seas. The code is always unspoken. Interesting. Okay. You think it was a direct tie to them trying to formalize the way of life?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When it started to fall apart, authorities in London sent a governor with a Royal Navy squadron to restore order in the Bahamas. So they took out the Nassau colony and started hunting down pirates. So a lot of these pardons that I've mentioned happened because Horngold and Jennings built a colony, and the British government was like, Nope, they're too far away. Hard pass, shut them down. So they sent their navy, and they shut them down. And they approached with a blanket royal pardon in 1718. I've met several of these pirates fell apart in 1718. That was like the end of Caribbean piracy, because the king came down and he said, full, unquestioned pardon if you forego further acts of piracy and take up decent living. And most people, they did. So yeah, liberty or death, right? So a lot of them just went with that.
That's equivalent to saying our president would, our president would pardon all drug dealers because we know that the government can't control the war on drugs. They've lost the war on drugs. Right. So then it's like saying, please stop doing drugs. And we'll give you all free passes to life and don't have to worry about any of these charges that you have pending. Just stop making the drugs. That's basically what they're saying. Yeah. Stop being pirates. We know we can't defeat you, but stop being pirates and we'll let you live out normal lives and we'll stop hunting you. Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Life of peace. So, it was and a lot of people did take them up on that, including man of the hour, Horngold.
Oh, did he turn his 30-gun sloop?
He did. Well, at that point, he was in charge of much larger ships. But he did accept the royal pardon, and he was given the same commission. You're really good at this. Do you also want to be a pirate hunter? Here's a letter of marque to go hunt pirates. And he accepted. The most connected pirate in the Caribbean turned on all of the other pirates that he knew. He ratted everybody out, turned total to the crown. And
isn't that just being more badass of a pirate, though?
No.
Hang on a minute.
Nope.
Piracy is all about fuck everyone in the world. I'm going to get mine. That's what piracy is about. And in this case, he fucked everybody else and got his. He turned on them all.
He sold out.
Yeah, but that's fine. But he's a pirate. That's what pirates do. Yeah. Pirates are known to be bribed. They're known to be, bartered with. I mean, that's their whole mentality is what's in it for me. In story, that's their whole posture. So in this case, he just became more of a pirate by selling to the highest bidder. Right? I mean, to me, that's what it kind of seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me.
I could follow your logic right up until the highest bidder is the crown.
Yeah, but
because the whole thing about piracy was there was the aspect of being all of those things you mentioned, but
they weren't revolutionaries.
They weren't revolutionaries
because they didn't care about the system. They wanted to go off and do their own thing the rest of the world.
Right. They were 17th century
Opportunists.
maritime libertarians. So when the government comes and says, "Hey, dog, heel," and they're just like, "Okay, sure."
I don't think so, though. I don't think it was a libertarian perspective against anti-government type of rhetoric. What I think was actually happening...
No, it was pro-freedom, not anti-government. And
yeah,
when
but
the government
that's
come
to
in
everyone.
and said, "Do what I say or you're going to jail," they're just like, "Okay."
All right, okay. I respect
I feel like they
the
sold out their
status,
ideals. But you know, like, join us or die.
Yeah, but
they died under the banner that they forced on so many people. So like, I can't hate it.
You know,
join us or die.
That's kind of a good point. I don't know. I still think it's fuck the system. They're going to get what they want, and in the end, turning it in for the price, regardless of the crown. What if they were given a pardon in Spain? They'd go do it there too. They'd go live in Spain and become, landowners and have full pardons in Spain too. It's just whoever was the opportunistic person at the time to offer them this deal, and they accepted it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I don't think they have any homage to Britain or to the king or to the crown. I don't think they had any sovereignty or any kind of allegiance. But it just happened to be the best deal they got at the time, so they took it. That's That's like pure pirate badass right there. To me, that's what that is. Even though he turned on all of his buddies, I get it, and he's a dick, but he's a pirate. I mean, it's kind of what they do.
That's the thing.
That's fair.
That's awesome.
So that's Captain Horngold. He raised and tore down several of the most notorious pirates of all time.
Discord checking in. What a dick.
What a dick. But
this is a good way to put it out. Like, I set myself up as a pirate to be successful once I turn against piracy.
Stop being a pirate.
I built my second career with my first career.
So it is the time of the night, the fun time of the night between number 2 and number 1. I am going to miss doing this, where we get to give away a little goodie.
I love my time between number 2 and number 1 as well. Let that sit in.
Oh, man.
It's very smooth, though. The time between number 2 and number 1 is very smooth.
Wow, poop jokes are fun.
I'm trying to tie it in.
So...
it's giveaway time. Yes.
It is giveaway time. Dan, guest in the studio, I need you to do me a favor.
There's only 4 items
sir.
over here.
There are 4 items on that table right over there.
Not my vape oil. That doesn't go.
There are a lot more than 4 items on that table.
The one over here. So here's our 4 items. We have 2 bottles of this is all Manscaped product we're giving away. So this is 2 bottles of Crop Preserver, which is the ball deodorant. We have 1 bottle of Crop Reviver, which is the ball toner.
Which, by the way, one of our council members said feels real good.
Really?
He did.
And then 1 bottle of Foot Duster, which is the foot deodorant spray. Deodorizing spray. Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. So pick one of those. We give it away on air tonight.
Would you like to finish pouring your whiskey first? That was classy. That was a nice smooth pour. You were thinking.
Oh, that's so good.
What is it? Toner?
2. So we got a deodorant. 2 things of... Oh, ball deodorant, foot deodorant, and ball toner. Yes.
Ball deodorant, foot deodorant, and ball toner.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to go with what sounds the most useful out of there and go with ball deodorant.
Ball deodorant it is?
There you go.
We live in Florida, so...
That's Manscaped Crop Preserver. Anti-chafing ball deodorant.
Anti-chafing.
I've never had balls chafe,
smell 'em.
but if you have balls chafing...
I definitely have. You walk around a theme park in some baggies for 6 hours wet. Fuck that,
is that when you
man.
get those like bumps on the inside of your legs? You know what? Okay, I take that back. Really, this will prevent that? All right,
Yeah,
so we only have 1 bottle of that to give away now. No, I'm kidding.
And it is all ball motif aside. It's also just like it's great lotion. So I kept mine because I was out of lotion, and it's great lotion. So I use hand lotion because I'm soft. So I'm gonna pick a name here.
These are names that are picked from the list of reactions on our announcement page on Discord, which is free. You don't have to pay anything to get into this. Just add a reaction, an emoji, a heart, click somebody else's icon, something that'll add your name to that growing list of reactions. And Josh randomizes it using an app once a week, and we draw a name. Eliminating duplicates, right? I assume we eliminate duplicates, or if we get a duplicate, we
eliminate duplicates. And once your name has been drawn, you are out for the small giveaways. I mentioned this before the break earlier. We are doing a bigger giveaway October 26th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're giving away Lawnmower 4.0, which is their clippers.
$200 worth of stuff.
We got some good swag over there. And then 2 Weed Whacker 4.0s. Those are the nose hair and ear hair trimmers.
A weed whacker.
Weed whacker.
Weed whacker.
Mickey approves of Manscaped products, by the way.
He's smooth too. But if you've already won a prize, it does not keep you out of the running for the big prizes, but you do have to be present on Discord to win that night. So
October 26th.
October 26th, 8:30 p.m. when we start that live stream, Tuesday night, just like usual. That is going to be... that's when we're doing the big giveaways. And I guess I will say, because we have multiple products, if you win a prize that night, you can't win more prizes that night. You only get one.
One of the big prizes.
But we are going to refresh the name list. So, all right, without further ado,
draw it up.
Our lucky winner is Hitman.
Hitman.
Yeah.
Nice. Wait.
What on, Joe? What on, Joe?
Hell yeah, I got to give him the right plugs. That's from his episode here in studio when he hosted Top 10 Places to Get a Bite to Eat Off the Beaten Path in Chicago. Yeah. That was a good episode. That was a lot of fun.
He tells you where you can go grab a plate. Right? Did I get that right, Hitman?
Just trying to get a plate.
Is that like also top 10 places to get robbed right after you eat?
Well, so that's part of the story, is that they're off the beaten path. So some of these you got to kind of know how to talk. So he was trying to teach Ron and me and Josh that night how to communicate with, local Chicago native citizens.
Is that where What On Joe goes
That's where What On Joe came from.
What On Joe?
And that's also where Ron interpreted what Hemp said to come up with this.
Would you like a black and mild?
So yeah.
Man, yeah, it's so that's him. So yeah, it's
Hemp will hook you up.
Must have been with like
Hemp will probably be down here soon. In fact, I think he's coming down to Florida here real soon. So have to have him back in studio again.
Cool. Yeah, dude. So it's up to you. Just shoot us a message. Let us know. Give us an address. We can mail it to you. I know you're on the road a lot. We can hold it if you're going to be in town soon and have you back in studio, or whatever. So just message us. We'll work it out, and we'll get you your ball lotion.
Josh will apply it. Actually, Ron will apply it since he's not here tonight.
That's true. Yeah, Ron signed up for that. So we'll just do a 1, 2, 3. Not it.
Not it.
Not it.
All right, that's Ron.
That is Ron. Yeah, Dan's a guest host. He doesn't get in the ball rubs. So, all right. So
fucking Blackbeard. Yeah. Let's hear about Blackbeard.
Number 1 is Blackbeard.
The most infamous pirate of all time, next to Jack Sparrow, obviously. But
of course. His lifespan from 1680 to 1718. All of his notoriety was compressed in a life as long as ours. Like he lived
youngin'.
Yeah. He was born as Edward Teach. There was some difficulty tracking down his history because there was records that wrote his name as Edward, as written, Edward Thatch. It's still pronounced Teach, but it was written T-H-A, whatever, so it's Thatch. So it made tracking it down a little bit more difficult. So we've tied some things together in more contemporary history.
Here at the Twisted 10, we get a hold of the overseas libraries that contain the mislabeled representation of Blackbeard's real name. Or so you read on an internet site.
So I read on the internet somewhere.
All right,
so he started his career as a privateer. No surprise.
Really? Okay.
In 1716, he joined the crew of Captain Horngold. Right? That's number 2. And also, in that time, he got to meet Calico Jack from number 9. He got to meet Stead Bonnet of number 6. He is, other than Horngold, the most connected pirate on this list. He was notorious, not so much, well... I'll come back on why he was notorious. So, Horngold was his mentor, taught him how to be a pirate, and raised him up to second in command of his ship, made him lieutenant on his ship. And that later ended up warranting his own ship and stuff, so he became his own pirate under that tutelage and built his own reputation around Horngold's reputation.
You see the pointy end? Yeah, that's what you stab with. That was all that he taught him.
Swordplay, right? But so what made Blackbeard so menacing was the way he presented himself. So whatever, we think big, bushy Blackbeard, and that was enough. And his pirate reputation would do it, and that's not always the case for him. So he was known, it was huge beard. He did have a large beard, but he would braid it. Each of his braids he would decorate with ribbons. He would then further take this image that he's building. He was known for 6 pistols that he would wear on a bandolier across his chest. He would just, knives and daggers, he would just fill his belt with blades. And I couldn't find like a picture to explain it, but his sword was apparently unique in some way. I couldn't find why, but I guess it was noteworthy. There's accounts of how menacing his sword was.
The pointy end was the handle.
Was it like a serrated blade or some shit like that?
I couldn't find something to really corroborate what was special about it. So I don't know. I would love to know if someone else can find it. I mean, set me up. I would love to see a cool Blackbeard cutlass. But what really drove the point home is he would make and put slow burning matches in his braids. So he would billow smoke and it would like spark and puff and sputter. So he was beyond just looking like a rough and tumble dude covered in weapons. He also literally would just smoke when he was standing around.
He had his own special effects.
He did.
That's fucking crazy. Could you imagine if you walk into a room, Dan, and you have your caricature of yourself so personified that you bring your own special effects? And I'm not just talking like pocket glitter. I'm talking like fucking smoke and guns and knives and that's awesome.
This would be a fucking pirate with stage presence.
Yeah, 100% right. It's an awesome act, though. Yeah. That's cool.
And it worked. I mean, it built him a reputation. He was terrifying. It was not uncommon.
I would never fuck with a guy that walked out of the bathroom at a bar that had fucking smoky beard and 17 daggers in his belt. Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with him.
Your head's on fire, your arm
and
to the teeth.
6 pistols.
Yeah. This one only has 1 bullet. So in 1717, he seized a French ship, which he remodeled and equipped with 40 cannons, renaming her Queen Anne's Revenge, making it the flagship of his growing fleet. Oh, no, it wasn't. That was his tutor, or his mentor. Okay, I apologize. Continue. No, you're good.
I was thinking the Anne from earlier, the name of the boat. But
yeah, Anne Bonnet was Calico Jack's lover, who he did know Calico Jack. He served with him, but also he was given or traded, however went down, the Revenge from Stead Bonnet, the rich boy.
But it wasn't the Frenchman's boat that he remodeled into the Queen Anne's Revenge. Okay, got it.
Correct, yeah. So that happened. Bonnet's ship was a little bit later in his career.
Huh.
And then he formed a pirate alliance and used it to commit his most notorious act. Do you know what the number one thing that he was known for, like the most heinous thing that he ever got away with? Do you know, Dan? I mean, he did plenty of heinous things, but like this kept coming up as like the craziest thing he ever did. And I totally agree.
So, not offhand, no.
So with his new pirate alliance in 1717 and the Queen Anne's Revenge and all of his guns, they formed a blockade around Charleston, South Carolina, and held them hostage until they paid ransom. He held all of Charleston hostage until they paid him money to leave.
No shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
that's fucking badass.
That's pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. Late 1700 or early 1700s. Talking about Charleston, South Carolina. We're talking about the colonies. Like,
could you imagine the fucking representative from Charleston rowing out to Blackbeard's boat with the however many other boats were in the fleet, all guns aimed at Charleston? Could you imagine that guy rowing out to walk onto Blackbeard's boat with this fucking smoky beard, dagger, saber-covered motherfucker telling you need to pay a ransom or you're never going to leave the area? Whew.
Yeah, it became. And
I would bring him his ransom and just be like, "Take me with you."
Yeah, we're not worthy.
Nah, I'd be like, "Fuck those guys. You are way cooler than whoever the fuck I work for."
100%. I don't get paid enough to come. I don't know. I can't think of a trade. Blacksmith. Stupid. Go.
I'll save it. So in 1718,
I need to save. Throw me a buoy.
He was on the list of pirates that were offered a pardon, and he accepted it. And then as soon as he was out of gunshot, he reneged on it and went right back to piracy.
Fuck yeah, that's badass.
That's being a pirate,
That's
right?
rebel.
That's pirate shit.
Yeah, I'll take it. Thanks. I appreciate it. All right, see you later. Fucking let's go loot and pillage.
Oh, they let me go? Fuck you.
You know what he said? I had my fingers crossed.
So in response to all of this, after giving him all the money, giving him a pardon, and then he left and said, I'm going to be a fucking pirate anyways, fuck you guys. The governor of Virginia ordered an expedition to hunt him down.
I say, we've got to get our Blackbeard. For the era, not too bad.
Is that?
No, that's way off.
No, what? No, this is Virginia?
It was still British colonies at the time. I say, we must get our Blackbeard.
You're thinking, yes, I was going Foghorn Leghorn. That was
I'm trying to remember his name.
That was what I visualized.
It was still a British colony at the time. You're about 100 years too soon.
It's better than my accent. So, Lieutenant Robert Maynard of the Royal Navy led the expedition. He tracked down Blackbeard with 2 sloops. He was found November 22nd, 1718 at anchor in the inner side of Ocracoke Island.
Ocracoke.
Did I pronounce it right?
You
cool.
pronounce it perfect. That's an Indian heritage name.
Cool. So Ocracoke Island off North Carolina. Blackbeard was outnumbered. Most of his men were on shore at the time, but he refused to surrender. So he put up a fight before he finally went down on the deck of his own ship after taking 20 bullets and being cut by sword. Or, I'm sorry, he took 5 bullets and he was cut 20 times by swords in the fight. So he was cut open, bullets open.
He really was a badass.
That's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. That dude
One guy took a little bird shot to the neck and died.
Fucking... I mean, he took a shotgun blast from a cannon to the throat.
All right.
It was a little bit more dramatic.
Fair. But
Dick Cheney shot a guy in the face and he didn't die, so he is kind of a bitch.
It was an accident, Dan.
Yeah, so was the grape shot.
So was the grape shot.
But much of what we know about Blackbeard comes from a book that was written by Daniel Defoe. It was released in 1724. It's a general history of the pirates. So in there, Blackbeard was believed to have been born in Bristol, England, under the name Edward Thatch or Teach.
Yeah.
And that's why we think he started his career as a privateer in the War of Spanish Succession.
Daniel Defoe, you say?
Yes, Daniel Defoe.
You
also known as Blackbeard.
You just took the Twisted 10 down a pirate, just 1700s era theme adventure, Josh. In my mind's eye, I am still sailing the seas right now. That was a lot of fun. That was a fantastic list, man.
Yo, did either one of you guys watch the docudrama Pirates series that came out on Netflix?
Nope.
I haven't watched it yet either. I had totally forgotten about it till just now, but they did a whole like dramatized dramatized documentary on classical pirate, like
the Golden Age of Piracy.
What we just talked about. There is a Netflix documentary dramatic reenactment show.
What? This might be good timing. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it's your show or Ron's show, but one of you guys did a show on, I don't know, something incredibly topical at the time, and it hit super hard, and we had like some of our most downloads ever for that topic. If pirates are coming back to this level where they're doing documentaries on Netflix, maybe this episode is going to get, hundreds of thousands of downloads.
Sign me up. That'd be a cool new threshold to cross, 100,000.
Manscaped will have to pay us a little more for
Netflix. Stick it to Disney.
Mickey Mouse, chiming in again.
Oh, man. That was Ron's Deathbed Confessions.
Confessions, yes. When that dropped, for whatever reason, Dan,
March.
Deathbed Confessions became like super popular like the week after this fucking episode dropped, and our numbers just spiked. I think Josh even said it before. I think Spotify even featured our show because it was so topical at the time.
Yeah, we got a Spotify feature for 2 days. We got some good numbers for a couple days. That was fun.
It's amazing when those things happen. When they kick in, it's gangbusters. It really makes a big difference.
That's badass.
But dude, that was fun.
I am glad.
It was so different than I would have expected coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
So different.
Yes, that is what she said. Man, this has been.
Wait, what you been putting in your mouth? Gorsh.
Shut the fuck up, Goofy.
Oh man, you know
we're getting sued.
I heard a joke about Goofy that I thought was weird. You know, they're all animals, right?
Yeah.
So what's up with Pluto?
He's a dog.
So is Goofy.
So is Goofy.
So
why can't Pluto walk around and talk like Goofy the dog?
So Goofy has a retarded guy on a leash that he just brings around public. I've heard that one too. It's fucked up. Also, Goofy's the only one who's hooked.
That's a good point. All right, well, we want to thank you. Number one, thank you to the council members. You guys are amazing, and especially to our new council member tonight and our brand new council elder. We're going to give you a shout out at the end of every show now if you're a council elder. So T, you're my boy, T. You're my boy. We thank you very much for that. If you're interested in becoming a council member, head over to twistedten.com and check out those links. Obviously, thank you to Manscaped, our national sponsor for the podcast. We love your products.
Don't forget, use code Twisted10 for 20% off and free worldwide shipping at checkout.
That's exactly right. Dude, Josh, again, fucking great list. You nailed it. You brought the heat. You brought the passion. And I don't know what else to say about that. Dan, nice having you up here tonight.
Always a pleasure.
You're a much better fill-in than Ron. I mean, we miss Ron. Thank you for filling his shoes tonight.
I'm just happy to be filling this chair. It's way more comfortable than the couch.
That's true. That chair's nice.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, let's get out of here. Let's go record the after show. Council members, we will see you in the council member only section for the live stream. Everybody else, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us tonight. We love you, and we will see you next week.
Oh, see you next time, fuckers.
Arg. All right, we're muted.
I'm going to petition skipping the after show.
That's what?
I'm going to petition skipping the after show.
Oh, really?
11:30. Both the kids have double ear infections. They're
Oh, no. Okay.
My house is a mess. Of course, yeah, we'll let them know. We'll hang out with them for a few minutes. I just don't want to commit to another 45 minutes to an hour.
Ron's sad now because he hasn't been commenting last time. I said, hey, Ron, we just got a new Patreon member as well as...
He did respond to that, though.
Yeah, he said, cool or nice or something. Like, oh, you're sleeping, dude.
Are we clear?
Oh, yeah, let me stop recording.